I see you miss me. Now would I lie to you? There's no need to be there. Kiss you and you'll never be sure. I know you miss me. I know you miss me. I know you miss me, but I know you miss me. I know you miss me. I know you miss me, but girl, you are mine. Hey. Hey guys, I'm on TV. Hey guys, I'm on TV. So if you go back in time, this is exactly what happens. See, it'll keep repeating itself because turn around just on my show. You know I'm petty. Turn around just on my show. You know I'm petty. What up, Blake Turner? What up, Kelly Turner? What up, Craig Nash? What up, Courtney? What up, Blake Turner? What up, Kelly Turner? What up, Craig Nash? What up, Courtney?
Burke and Nino, but I'm still working on the public comment.
Okay.
Is that after 6:30?
We can play them all throughout.
Oh, okay.
Lori and Burke though, and Nino is at 30. I mean for social media. Las Vegas Strip. Lori and Burke though, and Nino is at 30. I mean for social media. Las Vegas Strip. Officially on and what's up, brother? How you feeling, man?
I'm blessed.
All right. Say sit down, say something to the people if you want to.
Oh, I'm cool.
Okay.
Proud of you though, man. Killing it all.
What's up, brother? Hey, how you feeling? Thank you for trying to work. Say sit down, say something.
You crossing over the station though.
Trying, man.
I'm cool.
All right. Looks like I am ready to rock and roll. What up, Alonzo Johnson? What up, Edie Moore? What up, Felicia Lucas Miles? What up, Sydney Marcel? Ready to rock and roll. I think I gotta turn down the volume. What up, Edie Moore? What up, Felicia Lucas Miles? What up, Sydney Marcel? I think I gotta turn down the volume. Biz I am. All right. What up, John Rember? What up, Harold E.K. Williams? What up, Greg Granite, John Hunt, and the 5 other people? What up, Kimberly Patton? What up, Linda Jennings? What up, Melvin D. Griffin? What up, Christian Pollard? Yo, man, what's up? What up, Verdella Walker? What up, Craig Nash? Blue Fire Mob? What up, what up, what up? What up, Raymond Hubbard? What up, Desmond? What up, Roy Royal Johnson? Blake Turner. Yeah, Blake, but even if they legalize, can we get in on it? I think we need a £quarter provision. Good morning, Annette. We need a £quarter provision. For those of us that, not us, those of you that know about the concept of the £quarter, you know, there's a lot of people I know used to survive off of a £quarter. What happens to those guys? What happens to them? That's all I want to know.
This year's author lineup.
What up, Tony Romero? What up, John McKay? You see I'm representing for the crib. You see old COINTELPRO tried to hate on the brother because I still represent the crib. You know, I was like, man, we was telling some stories about how it used to be when we would arrive in places and they be like, oh, you from Bolingbrook? And next thing you know, stay in your place. But alas, the brothers have been very clear that I must not engage in nefarious acts. What up, Carol Muhammad? What up, Teresa Williams? Todd's here before the bell rings, y'all.
I personally like to hear the tough stories of Bolingbrook.
Huh?
I personally like to hear the tough
Well, you
stories.
sit down and you know it's not. But so here's the thing, Todd. It's not the personally like the tough stories of Bolingbrook. I think that what the issue becomes is that Scarface said it when he talked about the hood is the same.
There's the problem with your generation right there.
What's the problem with our generation?
You got a guy named Scarface that you're actually listening to.
Hey man, you better be cool, man.
That he
Face,
actually wanted to be named Scarface.
Face is actually probably watching, man. You better be careful, man. Anyway, the point is, I think that people always
And remember, I'm still from Chicago.
right, and I think
And I
that
got children.
well, here's the thing. First of all, most of us all came from Chicago, so it's like it's not as though you never were here. Like you grew up.
Here's the problem with you kids. You're from Chicago. Your parents leave, so you don't have to go through all that bull, and then you take the bull with you.
No. I think that what happens is that you then have people test you based on your geography, not based on your right. So when Jackass Boy comes in and says, "Go your ass back to Bolingbrook," I think it's like, do you know how many fights occurred because somebody thought because of the suburb that you lived in that you didn't really know how to use your hands?
I know what you're talking about.
Right? And I think that's the issue. And it's like your geography is not what makes you tough. It is what makes you be willing to. And I think that oftentimes what you found happen was in places like the suburbs, there would be all types of people acting even worse because people would be like, you from the suburbs.
Right. I felt like they had to.
And so they would overcompensate. I can't tell you how many fights I got in at U of I just on the fact that somebody be like, you from Bolingbrook? What? And then the next thing you know, bam! Like, you, man. And they'd be like, take that, Bolingbrook. Now, all that stated, I'm no longer in that place, but I do think it's hilarious to me that it's the classic case of you dog people. We talk about our circumstances, but then you dog people for trying to do better.
Yeah. But isn't that kids?
That's kids, and then that's dumbass COINTELPRO agents. Oh, I'm sorry. Good morning. Hey, I just want to let you all know this exclusive T-shirt design 630 was designed by my sister Tennille Jackson. You can still get them if you'd like. You know all the Bolingbrook people like, let me get one of them now. Morning, y'all.
All three of you?
Hi. Everybody know about the Brook now. Brother Turner. Seems like I'm about to be getting in a presidential race. Seems like it's about to be some shots fired.
Wake up, featuring Maze Jackson.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
The WVON Morning Show.
Wake up! Everybody. Wake up, y'all. Take a moment, share the broadcast. What's up? What's up to the trolls? What's up to the haters? What's up to the lovers? What's up to my beautiful and lovely wife, President of the MWRD, Carrie K. Steele? Hey, she put the pimp hand down yesterday. Todd was in the building we gonna have to get a real live testimony of what happens when the new mayor puts the pimp hand down and everybody watches. Oh, it's a new bottom chick in the city, boy, and it ain't Ed Burke. Woo, it was crazy, and the different interpretations of that is hilarious.
But what happened?
Like when you hear from different perspectives, and then you watch it. up, world? This is the WVON Morning Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger in the building. Todd, how you feeling this morning?
Oh, feeling wet, but that's okay.
You're feeling wet. You didn't, not your pants.
No. It was just a little rainy on the ride.
Good Lord, what's going on with this rain? I want to say rain, go away, come again some other day. I feel like remember I told y'all I feel like the calendar is pushed back a month. It's like we're still getting April showers, hoping for May flowers. But if it keeps raining, we're going to drown out the flowers. We're going to miss the gardening season. You see the farmers all over the place are going crazy because they can't get any seeds in the ground.
Those flowers. I'm afraid of mosquitoes. I got bit yesterday.
You got bit by a mosquito yesterday?
The season has started.
Well, let me tell you what I want to have happen. I want all them bad boys to hatch, and then I want one cold day. Bang!
Yeah, kill them all.
And just freeze them right in the midair.
Yeah.
Right? And then they're all dead, and then we got a great summer. Hey, y'all, speaking of great summer, I know that was Todd Stroger, but let's say what's up to Annette Flournoy in the newsroom. Annette, you can tell the weather's changing. Annette got the biceps popping. She is like, Annette, good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing good, and we did break a record today.
What was the record?
The soggiest, the rainiest May in Chicago history. So 148-year record we broke.
104. So I want to put that in perspective for everybody. If that means that this is the most rain that we've gotten in 148 years, that means that we have to double down on what we need to do to protect ourselves from flooding, etc. So, God, I was thinking about the deep tunnel and how they built that for the flooding, and now with, you know what, should we blame global warming on Donald Trump? Since Donald Trump has caused global warming, we may have to dig another deep tunnel. Do you think that might?
He didn't cause it. He just doesn't believe it.
No. A presidential election is coming up. Donald Trump caused global warming. Yes, I'm telling you. The Democrats are gonna blame it all on him. Right. Yep. That other voice that you hear in the background is one half of the Wonder Twins. That is Miss Sonia Escobar. Sonia, you can't activate without your other twin.
That's right.
So, I don't know. It was like, remember how the Wonder Twins used to always, when they would get separated, and then they would be trying to get to each other so that they could get together? We're waiting on the other half. I feel her. You know what? I get it. You know what I think the other Wonder Twin, is she in the bathroom? Okay, we can't help it if Sonya. So that means Wonder Twin number 2 is, you know how coffee does you in the morning, right? I think Wonder Twin number 2 is stuck in the bathroom.
No.
Maybe hugging.
Allegedly, all these salacious allegations.
Well, we're gonna hold up until she gets in the building, but let me tell y'all what, this is the WVON Morning Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson, Todd Stroger. Y'all, we're gonna talk about, I got a lot to talk about. Todd, I'm gonna start here. We're gonna save it, but we gotta Todd, you were so did you go to city council yesterday?
Yes, I did.
Tell me about your experience at city council. First of all, what was it like being back in the halls of power?
Well, I go every 2 to 3 months just to see what's going on. So, same old folks that I talk to, some new faces. They're still new to me. I didn't meet anybody new. And had a good conversation with Michael Scott. Yeah. We walked around, talked to Alderman Burnett. Was going to talk to Alderman Sawyer, but he had a long conversation with one of those stations. They asked him a ton of questions. And then I ran into James Ramos, who's chief of staff for Howard Brookins.
Okay.
We were talking, and then the mayor came in. It was almost 10 o'clock. And she did a circle around.
Did she give you props? Did she acknowledge you at the phone?
Oh, no. She walked past James and I like we had the plague.
Are you serious?
Well,
See, okay.
Well, she was just about to walk by, and James said, "Hello, Mayor," and she kind of turned and gave him a look and said, "Hi," and kept walking.
But did she not say hello to you as a former Cook County Board President?
Oh,
she
no,
didn't
she
say,
couldn't
or as
even
a
turn her
former.
body all the way to do that, so no.
Okay, y'all. See, this is what I be talking about when I ask you what black people do. She know. All right, now tell me about though, Todd. Tell me. Was everybody all chipper and happy at first? How was it? So you were at the pregame. Did you stay for the postgame?
You know, I didn't go in the chamber.
What do you mean you didn't go in the chamber? Oh, you just went on the floor?
I mean, I went back to the office and I listened over the speaker to hear the.
Well, that's no fun.
It's no true drama out there.
But Todd, it's the
You
whole
could
point.
feel what was going on just by the conversation.
So what was it? What was it like in the back? Like in the back, you know, like when you go in the behind the chambers and before council, everybody's getting coffee or water and they're jovial and they're chit chatting and they're ha ha haing and.
Everyone was pretty much just like you said.
Now was it?
Happy go lucky. Hey, what a great day.
Now did you go back afterwards?
No, I had a meeting. So
Oh, Todd. See, I was trying to get the inside scoop. So y'all know I got like all types of inside sources from all over the place. And so I was talking, the perspectives from the different camps were so crazy on how the meeting was interpreted yesterday. And so we're going to talk about that. We're going to save it for 6:30. But let me just tell y'all, Mayor Lightfoot put the heavy Pimp hand down yesterday in the meeting. I was thinking of every Pimp movie I could think of. Goldie.
How high?
Oh my God. How
high? I don't know who's the parliamentarian, but he was giving us some here, take some of that powder.
You know, let me tell you the other thing.
Yeah.
I think that one of the things that I saw as I was peering through watching the city council meeting, and I think it's something we need to talk about too. You know what, Ty? I don't know if because things have been handled by other people for so many. Like, I feel like for a long time the council has relied on Ed Burke for parliamentary guidance,
Yes.
or the mayor. The mayor they have been allies of the mayor, so they really never had to check the rules of the day. They just kind of let everything slide.
Can I give a brief synopsis of what happens before city council meeting?
Go ahead.
So I got this from Alderman Beaver.
You know what? Why don't you tell us when we come back? Because we're going to go to traffic and weather, but I think this is great.
That was
this
a teaser.
That was a teaser. That's what you see how we set that up perfect? Look, it's the WVON Morning Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Todd Stroger. We'll be back in a few.
More of the morning show with Maze Jackson.
So, Todd.
Well, I don't know what your people were saying, but it's obvious that there's groups within the group, even probably more than ever before, where everybody kind of, like what? I remember at one point, 38 of the aldermen had been appointed by the mayor, so, including me. So everyone had some kind of tie to them in some fashion, but it's not like that anymore. You know, you got all these people who supported her, and then you got all these people who were afraid, because this is how I looked at the election. They were afraid not to support Toni Preckwinkle because they already had a relationship with Toni. She's the county board president. They probably she's probably helped them find employment for certain people. So now you got that same dynamic, and people are trying to find out, okay, how am I going to fit in this new city council, especially if I wasn't on their side in the beginning.
Todd. I'm going to tell you what I think. I think that years of dependency has made them go into...
What do you mean? Century? Dependency? Like, what has it been any different? I'm going to suggest that since the turn of the century, not this one, but from the 18th to the 19th, the city, after they got a 4-year term, pretty much was the same. The mayor has been the strong body, no matter what the rules were, and city council just kind of, they did their thing, and they didn't get in each other's way. Well, some of them. Most people are what we call backbenchers. They don't have a say. Things just kind of happen.
So, what I think has happened in that process is there is political atrophy in the city council. i.e., if everything from the beginning of time has been handled by the mayor, and everybody has been complicit with the mayor, then there's no conflict. You don't really have to know the rules. You don't really have to, you guys are all in collaboration.
Right.
If they're not going to all be in collaboration, I think that someone has to study Robert's Rules of Order. Like, I was watching people, I love Robert's Rules of Order because of people's lack of knowledge of it, right? And I'm not the best, but I learned in college to use Robert's Rules of Order to kind of play my opponents in meetings.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we have the people with the parliamentary procedure knowledge to be able to thwart what is happening. Like, when you think about the body sets the rules for the day. The body sets how the organization will operate. And you can be like, we're going to go with strict Robert's rules. We're going to go with loose Robert's rules. You can set the rules for the day, and the body has the right to set the rules for the day. To me, somebody needs to start thinking about how do we set the rules for the day so we don't get mollywop like that. Because boy, that shit was epic yesterday. Epic. And I don't... Oh! Shit. I won't be foolish. No. I want to know. I want to make sure I'm right before I let go. You know I don't. That's my favorite part. Don't. Nothing. I would not. Before I let you, don't. Boom, whoa. Oh, I would never let you go before I let go. I love the song. I pull up to Coachella. You are tuned in to the Talking Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Ty Stroger. Hey, y'all, I'm sorry. I really like that song. I think Beyonce did a good job remaking that Frankie Beverly classic, and I think that adding... Todd, do you hear the Candy bass line in that? When they play the Larry Blackman? When she does in real life, I think she gonna have to bring... it's like, don't.
Oh, yeah.
Don't. It's like candy. Except for, I hope that when Larry Blackman come out, he don't... Have you seen Larry Blackman now that he is like 300 pounds?
Defensive tackle?
Right. He's 300 pounds and he still come out with that red jock strap on, and it's kind of like, you gotta... Let me stop. All right, y'all.
How did you get that thing on?
He ain't seen that jock strap in years. All right, this is the WVON Morning Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Ty Stroger. Ty, before we had a cliffhanger before we went to break. The cliffhanger was, Todd, you were going to tell us what happens before a city council meeting.
No, that's more like password. The password is?
The password is what?
No, that was a game show.
I thought you were going to say the password, isn't it?
Like that.
Oh, no, I was going to say the password is what?
You want to be like, and now, is he going to be able to tell us the truth, or is it going to be something that we know is false? No.
So Todd, you left us hanging though. Tell us
Yes,
what
sir.
happens before a city council meeting.
So, there are a certain amount of leaders that work with the mayor in a meeting. So, generally, it would be the budget chairman, the finance chairman, and a floor leader and the president pro tem. They would all meet with the mayor, and they would decide who was going to say what and at what time. So, in this case, the rules chairman would meet with them also, because this was all about rules in the beginning. So the mayor would say whatever, and then Alderman Harris would stand up, and she would be recognized, and Alderman Harris would say what she was supposed to say. And all meetings can be like this, because you already know what the agenda is. So Burke was a part of that system.
Not no more.
Yeah, right. I mean, but for probably, 3/8 of his, not 3/8, like 7/8 of his life, he was part of the system. He always knew everything that was going on in the meeting. He had all the script. He had parts where he stood up. He's not a part of that anymore. But yesterday, he tried to assert himself in it like he was part of the regular script that the leadership meeting would give you. And, oh man, it did not go well.
Man, I can't wait to talk about it. We're going to save it for 7:30 social media question. We're going to let y'all go brush your teeth and get yourself together.
6:30.
I mean, excuse me, 6:30. Everybody, I'm sorry, girl, you got me right. Everybody brush your teeth. Get the kids, get the kids a bowl of cereal. Kids, you all tune in if you're watching on Facebook Live, YouTube. Everybody get ready, because we're going to talk about this. Parents, I am going to use the word pimp. So if the pimp slap, because Mayor Lightfoot literally put the pimp hand down. I thought all she needed to do was have a goat. She needed to pull off in a Cadillac. Could you imagine? I could have seen Mayor Lightfoot after she did that to Ed Burke, walking off with a mink, like 4 chicks on her arms, right? 2 chicks on each side, and with a cane, and walked off with some platforms and with a big feather. And she could have played. You know what? We know who wears the pants in the fat. We know who the man is right now.
For a guy who wasn't there for the black exploitation movies.
I was here for the 70s.
When were you born?
1971. I saw Sweet Sweetback's badass song. It was nasty. Oh my God, that Melvin Van Peebles. And I'm a connoisseur.
Creative.
I'm a connoisseur of blaxploitation flicks. So I know a lot of my favorite movie really is Let's Do It Again. That's my favorite one. But look, Todd, I gotta get some of these headlines in real quick.
I don't throw that one in that category, but
I love it.
That's a great movie.
I saw that at the movies. All right. Mayor Lightfoot, pimp hand down. Legalization passes the Senate. It's headed over to the House. I am trying to get the Black Caucus lead, Jahan Gordon Booth, on the phone line to tell us what's in it for the black people. Look, I see these white companies right now. They're scrambling to hire black folks. They are trying to put their equity program together. But I don't know. My man Christian Mitchell, big shout out to Christian Mitchell, right? Because Christian came up. He was a young guy, young scrapper, came from Will Burns. Will is gone on. Tony Preckwinkle kicked him to the curb, and now he is shepherding through right now the legalization. He got another $10 million added to the bill for a loan fund for disadvantaged communities. I think that's the new code word for black folks. We got to figure that out. But I want to hear what are the bill highlights. I got a copy of it. I have not had a chance to read through it all. So I'm going to be looking to the legislators. But I promise you by tomorrow, they're probably going to pass it tonight, though. They're probably going to pass it tonight. And by January 1st...
I thought the hurdle was in the Senate, and if it got out of the Senate, then I guess you're probably right.
Yeah, and there's no hurdle in the Senate because there's a supermajority in the Senate. I think it was all...
Oh, no, I just been getting everybody on board.
Oh, yeah, I think the whole thing was they just need to make sure the police need to make sure they get their pound of flesh. They still got to figure out how they're going to lock you Negroes up. All right, let me run through the top of these. Shout out to McPeer for adding another 1% tax to us in a 10-mile radius of McCormick Place. Now, Lori Healy showed up and testified and got a 1% tax passed so that they could tax the visitors that are coming, as she said, to our cool new restaurants. But I live in the 10-mile radius, and I don't want to pay another 1% tax because they trying to get the people from McPier. And that's how they sneak that BS in on you. Like, why are we paying for McPier still? Didn't Pat Dow get him $55 million already?
Yeah, well, there's a unless it's expired, but isn't there a hotel and motel tax and such? So if you buy anything on north of 22nd Street, the sales tax is higher.
So I'm just telling you, man. I live north of that, but I still live on the west side, and it's not cool. I just think it sucks that we keep, like, they try to say, she says, this is what ticked me off. She gonna say, we're gonna put a 10-mile radius tax. Now, ain't Chicago in a 10-mile radius for the most part? Now, I'm gonna put a tax on the people because they wanna take advantage of the people that are coming here to take advantage of the cool new restaurants. Meanwhile, the people who live here can barely afford to go to the cool new restaurants. And then they're going to add a 1% tax. So they're going to hit us trying to catch them. That's crazy to me. Reproductive Health Act stalls in the House. It has not passed, but I'm sure that they're going to try and put it. This Brittany Hill murder where she was holding her 2-year-old and they are telling the story that the baby was waving before the car started shooting. They got out and started shooting at a chat. She was trying to get a. Where are the activists that show up at the police shootings? I know that there's really no money, but I'm just saying, we got a bunch of people running around Facebook Live and kicking down the doors of busting down black people, politicians, because they're going to expose them. Why y'all don't take the camera over and go help find the brothers that killed that sister while she was holding a baby? Because that don't pay. Go on COINTELPRO.
I don't know if they've done anything. So I wouldn't just throw them away completely.
I'm going to tell you, it's a press conference. It's a press conference. If it's a police shooting, it's a press conference the same day. It's a press conference the same day. No money, though. No lawyer. It's a Talk Chicago 1690. We'll be back.
Live from the WVON.
Where your COINTELPRO at now? Busy jumping over there. They don't pay $30,000 per for. Oh. Todd, you got the camera.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, Maze. Because it's interesting. Like when I'm arguing with people on Facebook about whatever. But it might come up to something where, I'll say something about, we gotta stop this culture of people just going around shooting each other and nobody ever seems to say anything. And then I'll always get some kind of comment where somebody will say, the police are the worst gang out there. I'm like, this is like talking to a Republican. I always got a red herring. While you're trying to solve one problem, they bring something else up to deviate from coming to a solution and trying to just screw up the works. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I always say I see our biggest problem right now is us. We gotta get us under control. Then it's easier for people who have ideas and want to do things in your neighborhoods to be able to do them. But if it's chaos and just total wild, wild west, you can't bring anything there. No one wants to. No one wants to give you any money. No one trusts the area. Shoot.
Can I tell you something? So, this is part of this is why when you see certain people, I'm gonna tell you that T.O. Hardeman right now is a victim of this. Okay? So I think that T.O. in the past has had some effective strategies to deal with this issue. Yet and still, T.O. is not engaged by a lot of elected officials. Do you know why T.O. is not engaged? Because in often cases, there's not a separate. I don't think that the activists recognize that they all kind of get lumped into one group, right? So you got the younger ones and the older ones. But what essentially happens is that those times when you make the alliance with COINTELPRO and then you show up with COINTELPRO, then people start to associate you with them, and then they associate you with a stick-up artist, right? So then what eventually happens is the people that are in the decision-making process say, no, I'm not going to mess with you because you're a hustler. Why? Because they've already paid the people that you showed up with money before to deal with these type of issues, and they absconded with the money. But in our efforts to always be friendly to everybody, we wind up not recognizing that the company you keep, even on your small alliances, wind up associating you with them. So when the guys in charge see you lined up with the person that they have confirmed or they have already been hustled by, then they assume that you are a hustler too. So when we do these big kumbaya moments and then all of a sudden someone busts out and decides that they're going to take the lead, we all get painted with the same brush. Now, I am not an activist. I am a for-profit business owner that wants to advocate, who is not taking a vow of poverty. I am a business owner. When I have clients, I will let you know on whatever side of the issue. But it's the same reason why the contractors don't feel like they need to hire black people, because when they did hire black people or they did go through the hustler took the money, did not provide the workers, and they like, why do I need to do this? So instead of ever now looking to hire people, they just say, who do I gotta pay to stop these dudes from coming to bother me? So that's when COINTELPRO shows up, takes the money, and now when the legitimate black business operators are trying to get legitimate business, they can't get it because the developer has already paid the hustler. Am I crazy, Todd?
No. I think you hit it right on the head. Everybody loses credibility once somebody goes in, takes money, does nothing, and just moves on to the next mark, and it just makes it
literally.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. But yeah, I mean, it makes it tough for everybody who was trying to get something done, because money comes in from all over. People aren't just waiting for people who live down the street from you to do development. Generally, that money's coming from somewhere else. They don't know anybody when they get there. They go to the loud guy who's saying, I'm going to do this, do that, if we don't get something. And, once they see how the game's played, they're just like, all right, I'll pay this guy to stop bugging me. And then people who are trying to get, something concrete for people left out in the cold.
So for all you West Side brothers that just started y'all businesses and wonder why it's so hard to get the developers to work with you, ask yourself who you've been showing up with and who's been starting the most garbage, right? If you pay attention to that, then you would understand why they always say we can't find nobody who can do the work. You don't have to punk people into trying to get a job if you do work. But everybody want to bring. Nobody wants to be. You can get forced to get hired initially, but the way you get repeat business is you do a good job. So yeah, you might get in the door one way, but after a certain time, people gonna say they're gonna figure out a workaround. And by the time they figure out the workaround, all the people who have worked to grow their businesses can't get no business. You are tuned in to the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. And Todd, we got so much to talk about today, but I don't know what to call it. I don't know if it was the Burke beatdown. the Nino Brown, the return of the smack. However you call it, Mayor Lightfoot walked into city council, and in my estimation, she put her feet on everybody's couch. And when the biggest dog in the city council, Ed Burke, tried to get a bark on and say, "Get your feet off our couch," Mayor Lightfoot muzzled him quick as a mug. Let me tell you, and as all the other dogs watched as the big dog, the biggest dog in the city council in all of their collective lives, got muzzled. He got checked. He got his, as they call it, as we like to say, he got his arse handed to him. Now, I heard a lot of people woofing and talking about what was going to happen. I was over here talking about it could be a war. Tomorrow could be the launch of City Council Wars 2.0. Because, man, the City Council is through being a rubber stamp. And I'm going to tell you, if I hadn't have seen it with my own eyes. Todd, you know how you've seen somebody for so many years who everybody is scared of? Or at least, like, don't mess with him.
Yeah.
Don't mess with him. She made Ed Burke look like the Wizard of Oz at the end when she stripped him down. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, Sonia, please play the exchange between Alderman Ed Burke and Mayor Pimp Lori Lightfoot as she puts the smackdown down on Ed Burke yesterday. I don't know what we're going to call it. The return of the smack? Go ahead.
Is your general concern that the...
No. Go back. Do you got Ed Burke? Do you have Alderman Burke? Okay, well, look, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go find Alderman Burke's, the first part of that, and we're going to come back. So, basically, Todd, yesterday, the social media question today is, did the Chicago City Council officially prove itself a rubber stamp yesterday? This is why I'm asked this. I know that black people probably don't get this, but I know a lot of people, until they lock Ed Burke up, until people see him, now I'm not talking about in court, I'm talking about in chains, riding away, in the bus, looking out the window. I think Ed Burke has a level of fear, intimidation, respect. It's all mixed up in a giant ball in city council. And everybody knows don't mess with Ed Burke. He can tear you apart parliamentarily in city council. He's the historian. He has these prosaic statements. He gets up and he has these flowery comments when he wants to talk good things about you, but when he wants to let you have it, he says it in a smart little, quippy way. You bled out before you realize what happened. Todd, yesterday we saw him be emasculated in public. Mayor Lightfoot did something that I don't think any mayor, any city councilman has done since Harold Washington, which is go directly at Ed Burke. And the city council kind of looked at him as like the big, like they big bully, sort of. Like the guy they could get behind, and Ed Burke is going to stand up to Lori Lightfoot, and we can't wait to see what his machinations will be. She sat him down. And nobody stood to his defense. As a matter of fact, they watched with their mouths open. Now, I heard people was ticked off. I heard people was like, "Dad, how you going to do him like that?"
Yeah, I mean, I didn't talk to anybody because I wasn't there.
Man, I talked to a bunch of people. They was like, my phone was blowing up yesterday. People like, "Did you see that? Oh, my God." And it was just so many interpretations. Talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, the way you saw, the way it played out, it was... because just like you're saying, even if Ed Burke is the finance chair, he has tons of people who've gone through the rules and people who will go through everything with a fine-tooth comb. So they obviously went through all the rules and committees and everything that she submitted, and so he gets up and says there's a problem with it, speaking as Ed Burke, the dean of the city council, you know?
And I think he was trying to be smart because he was saying his complaint was that it wasn't what she was proposing was not gender neutral.
That's exactly what he said.
He said, Madam President, don't they call the mayor the president or something like that?
Madam President, you know what?
Yeah, in your document or whatever she was trying to pass, you have not included she, and the language is not general, is like not gender neutral. It was almost like being super ticky, like being a smart guy in the room.
Yeah. See, that was part of the problem. And I mean, if you saw the debates with Tony Prewinkle, you know, fighting with knives is kind of I guess that's what she did as a lawyer. Because she pulled one out of her back pocket and just started slashing.
Well,
but to your point about how it was tic-tacky, she could have said something of the nature as this will be taken under consideration and just kept on going. But she was like, no, let me just smack you down right now so everybody knows where we stand.
And I think that it was offensive to some aldermen, particularly the people who were not with Mayor Lightfoot.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it was an example of Ed Burke being typically treated as the smartest person in the room without ever being questioned.
Right.
And I think it was Mayor Lightfoot being like,
which is kind of interesting, because I know sometimes he say things and his research wasn't as good as it could have been. I'm like, man, that's not quite right. But no one would ever question him.
but no one would ever question him because he was the all-powerful, almighty Ed Burke. Real talk. I'm just telling you.
Yes.
When I saw it yesterday, I was really like, oh my God. Did I just see that? I did not feel bad for him. Like, I was watching it and I was like, I think he was appalled because I don't think he's been undressed like that in 50 years.
Oh, probably. Probably last time he got that kind of reaction was back when Harold Washington was the mayor.
And we saw what happened to Harold Washington, right? Look, y'all, when we come back, we're going to play that clip, as well as then we are going to talk about, did the Chicago City Council yesterday officially prove itself a rubber stamp? We'll be back after Traffic in the Way.
May is Health Awareness
See,
Month.
I just feel like she came in the city council, like, who stands up to her now? I don't even know if anybody's got
Well, you know who will, because what happened right after is Ray Lopez stood up and he made a speech about how the committees had been formed and that there hadn't been any true input on, and if I heard it correctly, and I could have gotten a little off, I think he said it was a little light on women committee chairpersons. So I think that he will be the voice of the opposition.
He will be the voice of the opposition, and he is also an Ed Burke protege. But I think that watching what happened to Ed Burke, who stands up for Ray Lopez? I just want to be honest with you.
You mean with him?
Yeah, like, who stands with Ray Lopez? I can't see. Ray Lopez is a showboating alderman. You know, this is the guy who pulls his Camaro up on the sidewalk, right? And parks his he drives his Camaro and parks it on the sidewalk, and you know, doesn't pay the rent for the poor little black people, but you know, cause he talks smack to the gangbangers, then you know how we do. Anyway, here's the thing. Ray Lopez is the alderman of the 15th Ward. What is the significance of the 15th Ward besides poverty? None. Now, Ray Lopez can stand up all he wants to stand up, but do you see anybody, after watching what she did to Ed Burke and nobody doing anything, who stands up with Ray Lopez? Like, what does he have? Like, what is he? He'll probably get some money and financial support from Burke, but I think the thing that people don't understand is Burke is the epitome of all things negative in Burke is to the voting population, so I think that there's two ways that people look at it. I think if you are in the political bubble, you're like, whoa. If you are outside of the political bubble and you saw that, you like, kick they ass. Kick they ass, kick they ass, kick they ass. And Ray Lopez comes off looking like a spoiled, he looks like a spoiled, angry guy. Plus, he's not a good message deliverer. Like when you see him on TV, he's always looking at his notes. It's not he's spitting it. It is they wrote it for him, and now he's trying to say it. Like watch when he was on Fox. Did Flannery get you yesterday? So Mike Flannery's looking for you. I think they want to put you on. Fire. He said he saw you yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. See, Todd, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, man, you're gonna be the cat's meow in a minute, man. They're gonna be all them people that was hating gonna be like, your expertise is great. They all listen to this show. But anyway,
Yay!
the point becomes, Todd, that Ray Lopez doesn't have enough cachet. Like, I'm gonna stand next to Ray Lopez and lose something? What does he have? He don't got no committees. He don't got nothing worth developing, and I'm not saying nothing worth developing, but you can very easily skip over the 15th Ward with any goodies. Yeah, you can get your garbage picked up, but you ain't getting nothing else.
Look, I know exactly what you're talking about. This reminds me of, our friend may not like it, but it reminds me of when the third ward and Dorothy Tillman was very vocal. One of the problems with the third ward was it was poor as heck and no one was trying to do anything there. The only thing that was happening there was that people were abandoning places and the city was trying to take that land like nobody's business because they figured eventually they, get white people back.
Exactly, which they're now doing, and Pat Dow shepherded it in. And but now think about this. If it's me, I remap Ray Lopez out of his ward. I would just be like,
I had that conversation yesterday with somebody. I said the way I see it was going to happen next time around is Ray Lopez, and if they can do it, Ray Lopez and Ed Burke will be in the same area, the same ward.
Yep,
yeah.
And they could because they abut each other, right? And so they abut each other. You put them two together, that gives Chewy a 2-for-1, right? Ray Lopez has no seniority. Not that seniority even at this point counts. Because we don't. Huh? Okay. Pay attention, y'all. She coming back with the clip.
Chat room, blogs, photos, podcasts, and more on the World Wide Web at WVON.com.
Well, Madam President, thank you.
Sir, do you have an objection?
Pardon me?
Do you have an objection? Or do you want to make a comment?
I do, and I'll be brief about what the objection is.
Please.
This is Ed
In
Burke
reviewing this,
and Lori Lightfoot's first exchange.
I think that there's a serious flaw in the proposal on rules.
Basically saying you don't know what you're doing in
For
these
instance,
rules.
Rule 2 provides as follows. The clerk, parenthesis, or someone...
She probably thinking, I know what I put in here. I don't need you to tell me what I wrote.
It's not gender neutral.
The Ed Burke, the champion of gender rights.
Uh,
So he gonna go through the list and go through
Presiding
everything.
officer shall preserve order and decorum and may speak to points of order in preference to other members rising from his seat. It's not general neutral, and clearly the presiding officer of this body.
So what you can see is that basically, Todd, Ed Burke is essentially taking Lori Lightfoot's initial piece of legislation and essentially being the smart guy in the room,
Anything
or
further?
thinking he's the smartest guy in the room. Here's her response.
Rule 9 also.
You gonna go through them all?
includes the
No, she's gonna
same,
chop him off.
mistakes. Rule 12 includes the same mistakes. Rule 19 includes the same mistakes. Rule 20
He was allowed to give
includes the
history
same,
lessons like this?
Right, but see, now check this out. He could sit through a meeting and now mind you, nobody else is saying anything. They're just watching as this happens. Let's get to the point where she gets ready and she talking.
to the
Now this has gone on for 4 minutes, y'all.
on the
4
discretion of
minutes.
terms. The
Alderman Burke, You've been in the city council for approximately 50 years, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you're a lawyer, is that also correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're aware that under the terms of the law, and particularly as provided in the municipal code, that gender, whether it's designated as his or her, applies with equal force. So if you're making an objection, please make it so we can move forward.
Well, yes, I think that echoing the remarks of the rabbi earlier, that these rules should provide for his or her in the various sections. And with regard,
Is your general concern that the rules have, let me just ask the question if I might. Is your general concern that the rules have a gender designation and not his or her? Is that the gist of it?
that's it.
Is there any other thing that you want to call to the chair's attention?
No.
All right, so sir, we'll take your issue under it. Alderman Burke, is your general concern that the rules have, let me just ask the question if I might. Is your general concern that the rules have a gender designation and not his or her? Is that the gist of it?
That's it.
Is there any other thing that you want to call to the chair's attention?
No.
All right, so sir, we'll take your issue under advisement. We're going to move forward.
Now, I'm going to tell you, and Sonia, I don't know if we have the post press conference interview from Lori Lightfoot when she talked about what Ed Burke was trying to do. Let's play a little bit of that, Sonia.
The notion that Ed Burke, fill in the history, is somehow now concerned about gender equity is laughable. It was just a stunt.
Todd, in your estimation, was it a stunt? Do you think that Ed Burke was trying to show Mayor Lightfoot in her inaugural meeting that this was the city council space and that she didn't really know what she was doing?
I think it was more as he was trying to show that even if he isn't the finance chair, he knows more about this than anybody else.
Clearly, though, he didn't. So clearly he didn't, because the last time he practiced law besides our taxes.
Well, that's what I was about to say. See, the problem with talking to a lawyer is a lawyer can always say something back to you and sound like it's right. So I'm not saying she's not right, but I'm saying that this became one of those kind of tit-tat things where you want both sides to sit down. Like, come on, let's just keep.
But the crowd responds.
Well, the crowd did not.
No, but see,
the crowd wanted blood. They were there for the circus.
But here's the
it was
thing.
like the Coliseum. And Ed Burke was the Christian who wandered out into the middle of the arena, and she was the lion, and they were like, I think it's time to eat.
No, I think you got it different though, and I think here. If I was in the crowd, I would not have looked at Ed Burke as a Christian, an innocent Christian who wandered into.
That's too much.
Right.
He's a gladiator. And he
No.
He had to try it.
No.
You try to say he was
Ed
in there,
Burke
he was
was
in there unarmed?
I'm saying Ed Burke was Caligula. who got the tables turned on him, and the Christians and all the victims. And if you saw Caligula, you know what I'm talking about. He was Caligula, and it was like the tables got turned and Caligula got put in the Coliseum, and the Christians who he been feeding got to watch. So, and here's the thing that I don't think that the city council gets.
Well, in that I will say, then also you have to worry about what happens when there's mad revolution.
And I think you are 100% right. So I want to extrapolate this out, and we're going to talk about it after the break too. But here's the thing that I'm suggesting. I am suggesting that right now, members of the city council do not realize that the city wants blood. And I don't think that they realize that they are not viewed positively by a majority of the city. Yes, in your ward, individually you were reelected. But collectively as a body, the city council is, especially the old guard of the city council, is viewed as part of the problem of Chicago. And kicking Ed Burke and beating him down that way to me, gave Lori points. Right now, the city council needs to get a communications plan together, because the press right now is going to allow Lori Lightfoot to bludgeon them to oblivion. But and as she bludgeons them to oblivion, are we seeing the end of the city council as we know it? And I think that they better be smart enough to recognize that she can use this bully pulpit to completely emasculate them, right? When you lost the trash and you lost the garbage and you lost all that, she can emasculate them, and then when the next mayor comes, he can just deal the death blow. Look, y'all, let's talk about it all when we come back to Talk Chicago 1690.
The talk of Chicago.
See, I still don't know who is driving force behind Lori Lightfoot, right? And so, as the city council...
I mean, I can't say names, but this is a group of Northsiders, obviously. I mean, we know it's not Westsiders. We know it's not Southsiders. This is a group of Northsiders who
I think it's some Southsiders in there, too.
No.
You don't think nowhere in there that somebody from, like, say 35th and Low might be like, here's how you deal with the niggas.
No, I mean, I don't mean like, I was talking about black folks. But, yeah.
I'm talking about period. Like, who is behind Lori Lightfoot, period? And so if you think about, like, the Mary Dempseys and people like that of the world, I think that there's a Shanty Irish connection.
Yes.
There is not Shanty, wait a minute. There's a lace curtain Irish connection.
That's exactly right.
That then translates, that lace curtain and Shanty still is connected. And I think that the lace curtain north, west side combined with the south side has probably gotten in. I think the way that...
Well, you got to remember that when you divide the Irish up, and you're right, you got your lace curtain Northsiders, and then you got your deep Southsiders, but you got to remember those deep Southsiders find themselves more aligned with the Northsiders because they've always thought that they were kind of
above.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
and
a lot
children all moved up there.
And that's actually the lace curtain Irish usually move from the south side to go up there. So, y'all, I'm telling y'all, and I bet you 3/4 of our audience is like, what the hell is lace curtain and shanty? So lace curtain and shanty, in case you don't know, is the division, good morning, is the division between, is how Irish divide themselves. So the lace curtain are the upper crust, moved along Irish, and the shanty are like the spitting, swilling, drinking, beat your wife Irish.
I would put it more like this. It's the north side Irish were more of the people who might work in offices and such like
Genteel.
that. While the Canaryville, Bridgeport guys were, people who worked in the stockyards and our union people, more blue collar. And then you got your far south side guys, from Beverly and those places, and they've always had some real nice jobs. They think of themselves as top tier, and their children moved up north,
Right, or downtown.
so yeah, so they have a connection to two worlds.
Right. Beverly is a mix of lace curtain and shanty, cause you got a bunch of lawyers but like I think they all are on part. Like the upper shanty live. The shanty. Okay, so let's put it this way. Beverly would consider themselves lace curtain.
No, they wouldn't call themselves that though.
Well, right, they wouldn't, but they are. Out of in the geographic region, the Beverly residents are the lace curtain. The Mount Greenwood are the shanty. Right. So if you were to break it down in that geographic region, that should help you understand. Right. Like the lace curtain Irish go in their house and call you nigga. The shanty stand on their porch and call you nigga.
Right. Just stand out in front.
Oh, Jesus. Oh.
That's fine.
I be telling y'all too much, don't I? I think y'all.
I saw that in high school in a sense.
You not know shit you
I
did.
mean, the guys from Beverly were cordial and associated, and we make jokes with each other. But the guys from Mount Greenwood, they had a different flair to them. Yeah, and they didn't mind letting you know that we're racist. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, dog. I'm telling y'all. See, y'all just got an Irish history lesson. Now look, I bet you COINTELPRO gonna turn that into a meme. You still watching football? I'm just saying. So can I ask a question though? So I do want to go back to this. I want to help everybody understand that you all have been victims of the racket. So, like, one of the things that I've noticed is that everybody dude tries to make sure I'm going to keep on wearing his ass out, because I think you really got to understand that we were going through this yesterday, and the fact of the matter is, all of us at some point have attempted to work with COINTELPRO in the hopes that we could build black unity. Those moments that we have used have been used to build his credibility while taking away yours. So, I would tell you that as recently as a month ago, COINTELPRO was telling people that we worked together, that we had an association, but we had fallen out. But like, why even act like you have any association? The same thing was happening to Tio. The same thing is happening to the cameraman. The same thing is happening to so many people. When you are associated with someone and they've had a negative experience, that stays with you. So, again, if you think about all of the major construction companies, old construction companies, they figured out the COINTELPRO hustle. So now you ain't getting through with Walsh. You ain't getting through with McHugh. You ain't getting through with Jimmy Akintande, because dude done jumped on all of those tables and shook them down and never did no work. Now it's on to the related Midwests of the world, the Sterling Bays of the world, the new people who are trying to figure it out because they trying to get paid, the Thor Capitals of the world. So they do is they go around, they drive at the spaces and they say, you see what we did? Huh? Okay. And so what you all have to understand is the same thing that's happened in the construction industry is the same thing that has happened in the social service industry, right? So, or the social workers. So again, Mayor Lightfoot, when y'all standing up and y'all having marches down the middle of the street with Mayor Lightfoot telling you want Mayor Lightfoot to pay attention to you, but you are associated with the people that did the gay flyer on her, guess what? She not gonna talk to you. And you gonna wind up, you now are wearing the shirt of the gay flyer. Yeah, get it? It's like, once they've identified the source, then anything associated with the source, they say they get nothing. So T.O., Eric, all you guys, when you wonder why you not, because the pictures that they've already seen are you associated. I'm saying, when y'all wondering why ain't nobody talking to y'all, because y'all all in the same bucket. So remember, when you marching down the street, but you associated with the person, the people that have fucked everybody, you're a fucker too. You are You are tuned in to Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Ty Stroger. But y'all know how we do at the top of the hour. We got to say what's up to the WVON Morning Show team. What's up to Annette Flournoy in the newsroom. And I got to say what's up to the Wonder Twins, Sonia Escobar and Sonia Tompkins. You hear that sound, and when you hear the Wonder Twins activate, y'all, it means it's time for us to get this soul plane up in the air. So let's get this thing up 50,000 feet, Sonia. Let's get it up, get it up, get it up. Get it up if you're ready for a real good time. All right, y'all. So, stop. Wait, what? Oh, what?
You all waiting for me?
Yeah, you just why you think we ain't get this mug? We sitting here with attitude. So you get, and you should feel special, and you interrupting our flight as we up in the air. We trying to get to 50,000 feet. That is look. This is teamwork, make the dream work. This is how we do. We family around here. Even when you make me mad. That's all right. Hey, y'all, it's like, but that's family business. That's how we do around here. Sometimes we pick each other up.
That's right.
But we ain't never leaving nobody behind, not on the soul plane. Like, with black folks, if we going to get there, eventually we going to get there too. All of us going to get there together. Well, all of us ain't going to get there together. We're going to have to leave some people behind.
That's how it is.
But if you dragging the plane, if you dead weight on the plane, we throwing you off. But if you are a productive member, we gonna hold the plane for you. Look, y'all, we were talking about the city council. Did it become a rubber stamp yesterday? We played the exchange between Mayor Lori Lightfoot and the former dean of the city council. Ty, do you think Ed Burke is still the dean of the city council?
Yes.
Okay.
In the sense that the members will still see him as, the guy who knows a lot and has people all over. They can ask him a question. They can probably find the answer for him.
So
or contact him with, talk to this guy.
But I was thinking about, how I remember when it used to be with Mayor Daley. When Mayor Daley, you have a meeting, and then all of a sudden there would be some person standing in the back of the room with a clipboard, and they would just be taking notes. You'd be like, who is that? Don't worry about who that is, right?
Right.
I got a feeling that if you get caught associating with Ed Burke in city council, you're going to have problems with Mayor Lightfoot. I think she has branded him an X, and I think that from the reaction that I saw yesterday, Ray Lopez can't save nobody. I'm just telling you. You stand up next to Ray Lopez, you remember Ray Lopez and Anthony Beale was in the same. Have we heard from Anthony Beale?
I didn't see Beale.
They said yesterday when Anna Valencia did the roll call, he said, yup.
Yep.
He didn't say, everybody's like, President Stephanie Coleman was like, I'm here. Lori Lightfoot was looking like, look, I'm gonna tell y'all, she look like it ain't gonna be no fun at city council no more. I don't even know, but the question now, y'all, so I wanna stay with this, but we're gonna talk about city council yesterday. So first of all, I think the city council has to recognize, the members of the city council have to recognize that if you don't come up with a communications plan, you are going to get beat down in a hole, right? Right now, Lori Lightfoot has all of the liberal media, all the press, everybody is on her team. And while you all have been insulated for years as a small private organization, you got to think that she is going to throw all your dirty laundry in the public as she gets it. I think one of the reasons that everybody was talking crazy yesterday is because they still don't know what is going to be the outcome of this federal prosecution that we're supposed to see the indictments next month. The other thing I think is that Lori Lightfoot has, even if she is not a federal prosecutor, she has the fear of being a former prosecutor, and people think that the feds are giving her information and will help her stay powerful. Todd,
and sometimes that's all you need is people think
the perception of power. See, and that's what I feel like is happening right now. Right now, Mayor Lightfoot has the perception of power. She hasn't congealed it. But yesterday, you know what she did yesterday? What she did yesterday was the jailhouse trick. The jailhouse trick, when it's you find the biggest, baddest dude, and you just go out and punch him in the mouth. and then you hope you don't get beat down. See what was supposed to happen?
You hope that the people break the fight up before they can get their hands on your neck.
Exactly. Or when you punch the biggest dude, you expect that his crew is gonna roll on you, right? So, like, I'm gonna just tell you, like, you know, so you get away, you got away with one dude, but I'm gonna just tell you, like, if we around and we see one of our guys and it's an issue, back in the day, we would all get in it. If he wasn't gonna win, we all get in it and we gonna stomp whoever out and then we gonna leave.
Mm-hmm.
I expected that after Mayor Lightfoot, after they saw their champion get whooped, everybody was gonna be like, "Hey man, you ain't finna whoop on our dog, our guy like that." Ray Lopez was like, "Yep." Look, y'all, they had the bull. They had y'all.
I mean, he was nipping at her heels,
Yep.
right?
You know how them little dogs. You be like, "Get your."
Yeah.
And she kicked me. Yipe. He went over to the corner. Everybody else, all the other dogs sitting around city council like, shoot.
Yeah, I ain't getting kicked.
I'm not getting kicked. I ain't like that punk, no way. Right? I was waiting for somebody to do something about Ed Burke anyway.
From what you just said, I think most people, and I say most, I mean the greater majority of people's relationship with Ed Burke is through business. It's not social. So, you know, it's not a ride or die type of feeling with the alderman.
Got it. Well, I'm going to just tell you. Seemed to me that there was some punking going on. I think she was trying to see how far she could go. She did, you know what she did? She Nino Browned. Do y'all remember? This is one of my favorite scenes. So, my favorite scenes in the movie New Jack City. Remember when the Carter had blown up and everybody was talking excuses and was trying to get their thing on, and Nino Brown was walking around? It was dark. Everybody was sitting around the table. He had the Rottweiler. It was like when the black man, that was like the ultimate pimp move. And then this is what Lori Lightfoot basically said to Ed Burke. Go ahead.
Big time. You're incapable of running the. Sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
She made change out of Ed Burke yesterday. I'm gonna stop because you know he ain't gonna say nothing to her. He gonna probably send somebody kick me in the teeth, right? Because ain't nobody messing with Lori Lightfoot right now, Mayor Lightfoot. So then I want to figure out what happened for black folks yesterday in City Council. So we came out with Todd, I believe, 9 black committee chairs. Of the committee chairs, I think we got 2 power spots. Pat Dow in the budget, as well as Michelle Harris as rules. Although I don't know how powerful the rules committee is, how well steep do you think Alderman Harris is in parliamentary procedure?
How what?
How well steeped in parliamentary procedure do you believe she is? Do you think that she could be a formidable tool? Like, I feel like she could have interceded yesterday as the rule. Like, she gets to set the rules of the day, right?
No. If I got it correct, the rules are there. So everything falls back on the Robert's Rules of Orders if there are no rules.
Right.
So there is a parliamentarian next to the mayor. So she could ask him, and he would make a ruling.
My point is, Michelle Harris, as the chairman of the Rules Committee, sets the rules. Like, if it goes through the Rules Committee, they say...
But the rules are only set through the body.
Right. So I'm saying...
She doesn't actually set the rules. She brings the rules to the floor. So at this point, like, they could have said... somebody, like Burke could have said, I want to make a motion about something. And then the mayor would have said, the parliamentarian, is that in order? Or she probably wouldn't have said, even asked them. She was like, that's out of order.
Right.
And that just would have kept on going. So no, the
See, I don't think about... I'm not
chairman of the rules, just the chairman.
So I'm not thinking about her as the chairman of the Rules Committee doing in City Council. I'm talking about what she could do to set the stage for City Council, for the votes, the rules that they could put in. If you recall, the Rules Committee is how they started to outpoint Harold Washington back in the day. Look, it's Talk Chicago 1690. We'll be back after traffic and the weather.
More
My
of the
point
Morning
is,
Show with Maze
you gotta have a rules committee chair. So think about it. They could pass she could propose something in the rules committee, pass it, and it gets out of rules that sets how the city council operates. And then the body would vote on it, and it could handcuff.
Well, that's what they did yesterday.
Right, but she was on the mayor's side, not the alderman's side. Like, if I was the rules committee right now and I saw that happen to Ed Burke, I would be thinking about what rules do I need to install to ensure that aldermen do not lose their voice, and then make the aldermen vote on it. All I'm suggesting right now, well, we have.
It says the rules state. I don't get me wrong. I haven't read the rules completely, but
You think she has?
probably not. But
Wait, she's the chairman of the rules committee. This is our whole city.
do I think anybody has read all the rules? No, I don't.
I think Lori Lightfoot has.
Well, she's not one of the 50. But what was I gonna say about that is that there are rules about how the whole thing goes. So if you get the attention of the chair and the chair calls on you, you have the ability to speak for 5 minutes. So that's in the rules. I'm almost sure that's still in the rules.
Yeah, all I'm saying is the rules committee sets the rules of governance for the city council. They make the proposals that then have to be voted on by the body. So you could say the rules committee could vote to say that the president, the mayor is not the end all be. You know what I'm saying? They can set all types of crazy rules, and if the body votes for them, they can pass them.
Of course.
So my point is, right now, I bet you somewhere in the rule, like, if there was a white Irish.
All this means nothing because the way the system is set up, people think this is strong council, weak mayor, but the reason it's not is because all of the money goes through the mayor. So money makes you more powerful than anything. I don't care about how many. If you can get 80 people, nobody's gonna get 26 people together. Not anymore, at least. So the person who's got, $30 billion running through them is always the top dog.
But again, just like there was a time when Gilbert Villegas was proposing that the city council have oversight over
Budgetary matters?
for CPS because they had to vote on their budget. It's the same thing. You can move. The body can say that the jurisdiction now of each of these agencies is the oversight for all of those is us. So they can vote to have an oversight committee that has the ability to approve or disapprove anything the mayor does. Now they could vote to do that. Now do they got the nuts to do it? No. But someone could propose it and say that the final decision does not. There is a committee that can review and override the mayor's vote. They can override a mayoral initiative by not voting for it. So we can't say that all the power.
They can do a lot of things, but this is all fairyland. What, Alice?
I got it, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Well, I'm saying after seeing how they did, see, this is my thing. I would be preparing for war so that I would not be in a situation to be flat-footed.
People are not saying what for God, there go I. No, they're not saying that. They're all like, I'm glad I'm in her camp.
See? And I'm saying, who's in the black camp? Who says that?
Well.
I'd rather be a New Jack hustler. This goes out to you, COINTELPRO. HUSTLER hustler. You are tuned in to Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host Todd Stroger in the building. And Todd, we are talking about the city council, what happened yesterday. So let's talk about what happened for black folks yesterday. We got 9 committee chairs. We got 8 vice chairs. And then Alderman Jason Irvin was elected as the chairman of the Chicago Aldermanic Black Caucus. But let's talk about this meeting. Let's talk about, you know what, do we have some public comments? Let's go to what the people had to say, and then we're going to take some phone calls. Let's go to the public comments. Sister Zakiya.
My name is Zakiya Muhammad of the 4th Ward. Lori Lightfoot, congratulations, my sister. All right. Now, I just want to remind you, Mayor Lightfoot, the importance of releasing the millions of dollars of CHA money
That's not
that
there.
the two previous mayors sat on. Affordable housing for moderate and low-income families are desperately needed on the west side and the south side of Chicago in the black community, where people have been pushed out by haters of the poor and haters of the black people.
That was our own sister Zakia, and you know what? I love the WVON family. WVON family. I guess my question now becomes, because I think that yesterday the council I think they got kind of pimp smacked. I really do. My concern with our overwhelming support of the pimp slap, the smackdown, I don't mind it being Ed Burke. I really don't. I think that Ed Burke has got a lot coming, and it's like he's been able to rewrite his story a long time, but I bet you it's a lot of black folks that's been waiting for that since Harold watched it, and they want some more.
Oh, I'm sure you're right.
They want some more. And so I don't think that any black elected official does themselves any service by coming to the defense of Ed Burke in this case. You win nothing there. There is no sympathy anywhere in the black community, and very few. And the only people that are sympathizing for Ed Burke are his allies that are wealthier than all of y'all anyway. So let's start there. What I am concerned with, and I'm gonna keep on harping on this point, is I don't know the black people that Lori Lightfoot knows and talks to. I don't know that if every alderman is scared to speak, if she has beat down any resistance, which black person in her cabinet, which white North Shore liberal, which alderman between Villegas, Matt O'Shea, gosh darn it, Wagaspack, which one of them is going to be the person that is whispering in her ear about what is in it for the black people? See, I think that as we, and I just want to be clear, that as you cheer the beatdown of all of your representatives, as we Samboize them, as we Negrofy them, as we say they ain't nothing them, and I'm not going to fight you on it. I'm going to ask you, who is the person, who are the people right now that anybody in the black community could put their finger on and say is our advocates for Lori Lightfoot's camp? Y'all was all gave it up to Willie Wilson. I ain't heard peep from Willie Wilson. Right? Maybe Rod Joy, but if Rod Joy comes from, no shade to Rod Joy, but you know, it's a different mentality from if Jan Schakowsky picks you to be her black person, you got to be a special black person. Let's just put it that way.
I'll
Can you vouch for that?
yeah, I'll give you an amen.
I mean, they're not going to take risque black people that are going to push black issues to the front. They're going to look for black people that think that immigration and protecting other people's children at the border is a priority for us. So as we move into the remainder of this conversation, I'm going to tell you congratulations on watching the whooping of Ed Burke. The return of the smack. I think that's what I'm going to call it. The return of the smack. But I want to also caution you that as you take away and emasculate the people that you voted for in your ward specifically. Now I'm not talking about collectively. I'm talking about specifically. If you live in the 34th ward and you cheered for the beatdown, recognize that you are continuing to take away your power. See, y'all done fell in love with somebody. I say, we don't love nobody. How Snoop say, we don't love these? Because essentially, eventually, even as much as y'all love Lori Lightfoot, she's going to want to get reelected.
Right.
Which means she's going to be making political moves, and she will no longer be the outside. When she took the oath of office, she was no longer the outsider. She brought the outside inside. And before you coronate anyone, because I still ain't seen nothing on a piece of paper, right? I saw them say that it was all about the reason that the violence, before it was flood the zone. Then after flood the zone didn't work, then it's the years of disinvestment on the south and west side. Well, we was amening and clapping, and that's my mayor. She's saying that in a room full of white folks. Talking about your violence. She was giving Scott Wagerspack, a white guy from the north side, the right to determine the value of black life when the police kill. She was giving the ability to determine where the economic investment goes to Gilbert Villegas, a northwest side guy. Gil is my guy, no shade. She was giving the richest department in the city of Chicago, the Department of Aviation, to Matt O'Shea. Now in that, we ain't heard nothing from our most senior powerful person, Pat Dow, because she was busy giving $55 million away to Navy Pier while they was shutting down NTA. So we know we ain't got to worry about it there. Right? So now my question becomes, while we all clapping, we still ain't got nothing. Talking Chicago 1690. We'll be back after traffic and the weather.
Live from the WVON newsroom.
Sorry, man. My fault. Huh? You know, I took some air out the balloon. Like, wow, well, I don't know what the fuck we clapping for. Like, there's nothing tangible that's been put out yet. Nobody. You got the camera.
Oh, no, yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I don't think most people really know. It's just about change. That's all people are looking for change. They don't know what change is. It's that same thing like when President Obama and President Trump were elected. People didn't know exactly what was going to be, but they knew that there was going to be change. And, you know, some change is good, some change ain't so good. And you don't know until things start happening. And then you either fight against it, fight for it, whatever's going to be. And we don't know yet. And we will find out as time goes on. And I don't see too much change myself. I mean, every mayor is a bit of a dictator. And that's what people like. That's what we see happening. The council will become a rubber stamp. Now, this mayor has been elected, you know, with support from all over. Maybe it'll be a different story. Maybe not. But generally, the press kind of turns on you after a while. As they say that you become, well, they never call the mayor a dictator. What they say is the city council is a rubber stamp. Instead of saying that the mayor is a dictator, they say they do whatever the mayor wants. You know, we've heard good talk. The mayor's talking about investment all over, and she's going to try to shepherd that through. And she's going to need business people to work with her, where we see things happening on the west side and the south side. I'm all for it. I hope it happens. I think we know she's going to be a tough lady. But you know, you remember when Emmanuel got there, and he was fighting and cursing out people in a public fashion, in the sense that people knew he was cursing at people. And then, once that really got out, and people are like, what's going on?
All right.
He moved back. This is the same thing. We're not really sure what the mayor's going to be like until there's a little time. She'll
I
find
mean, I
out
understand
what
that it's
works
like,
for her.
we know we doing something at 8
And we'll
o'clock
see what
though.
happens.
It's like, okay. I'm just saying,
I'm just telling you.
that's fine. We gonna do it. Are they coming in so I gotta do a half hour on the phone?
I don't think they're coming. None of the St. Bernard people came in. They're all on the phone.
St. Bernard has, you know who their lobbyist is,
Mike?
and well, that crew. They probably, I wonder what they,
That's an Irish thing, I guess.
what?
St. Bernard is the Sisters of Mercy.
Well, it's great, but it's like they service black people, right?
Oh, yeah.
Service black people and hire white lobbyists and a Mexican lobbyist. Again, story of our lives, right?
It is. It is. And unfortunately, when they leave, they usually take the money with them.
No, I'm saying no, those white boys getting rich off that hospital. Like, the fact that let me stop. What I do know, though, is that, yeah, let me stop. Take a moment, share the broadcast. So, yeah, y'all, while everybody's cheering, I just want to point out that none of y'all voted for Lori Lightfoot during the primary. When you had a choice of a black candidate, she was the third one. I'm okay with everybody being happy, but I want to know what we're happy for. You just happy somebody got their butt kicked? I'm okay with that. What up, Pick? Uh-oh, we got the big timers in the building. Carol, I'm not Debbie Downer. I'm May's reality. Like, again, y'all taking selfies. I took a selfie, but I ain't posted because I ain't have no chance to talk about it. I'm saying that, okay, who do you know that Lori Lightfoot is talking to that's black? And I just want to encourage all of my active brothers in the activist world. I'm not an activist, so I can't tell y'all what to do. But I would tell you should be very careful with your associations. Again, if you're trying to build a relationship with the administration, but you're associating yourself with the people who denigrated the administration, you're going to lose, right? She clearly knows, and if you recall, your guy was smart enough to say on a video that he was paid, right? So now, when her people look out and see you, for all the good that you can do, all they see is your association with a counterintelligence agent. Does that make sense? Carol, soak in the moment. This real. Was they soaking in the moment this weekend on Memorial Day? You are tuned in to Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. Todd, we're going to talk about what is going on in Springfield. They passed
before we move back,
we're not moving, but go ahead.
I was thinking about what you're talking about with the chairmanships, and what we've seen is that I was talking to one of the political operatives before I went in, somebody you know well too. And he was saying that the West Side had gotten all these chairmanships, and there's more things that have happened than we know. And then when I got there and I started talking to people and what their chairmans were and all that stuff, and then I heard the mayor say it, So there are more chairmanships, but what has happened is some of these chairmanships have committees that are small, and some that had committees that were bigger have found that their budgets have been cut.
Right. 2.3. So you think about it, the finance committee was a $2.3 million budget when Ed Burke had it. It is now $700,000. So one of the things I used to
That just makes the mayor just another the bigger animal than she was before.
Exactly. Let me tell you, Todd, I used to when I was in basic management training at Burger King. And I'm gonna tell you, some of my best learnings in life came from working at Burger King and McDonald's. I took basic management training, and they said one of the quickest ways to distract disgruntled employees is to give them a new title, right? To put them in charge of something, an area, I don't care what it is, give them a sense of authority, and they will exchange their money. They will forget about the money. They will forget about the power they will forget about the money that they were looking for, and they will take control in that position. So I used to say, like, if you got a guy that is asking you for a lot, put him in charge of the broom closet. Tell him anything that happens in the broom closet, you are in control of it. And even though the broom closet is insignificant, he feels like, I'm in charge of the broom closet, and he will guard that broom closet with his life. And I think that is what you saw Mayor Lightfoot do. She is, like, I'm going to tell you, Mayor Lightfoot is running a playbook on people right now. I really feel like I want every alderman to pick up the book, The 48 Laws of Power, and I want you to read it from cover to cover. Because I swear to God, every time Lori Lightfoot talks, I see her running one of the rules on you. One of the laws. And it's like straight up playbook. And y'all react just like the book say you're going to react. And you fall right into the trap. But Todd, I just am not sure what black people are cheering for right now. I can see why black people are cheering that Ed Burke got his butt kicked. Because he got a real long history, and ain't nobody forgot. It's just nobody want to say nothing.
No, people have been waiting a long time for this.
Right. So I get that. But what now? What's up for the black people? What's in it for the black people? Has anybody gotten the answer to that yet? Let's go to the phone lines. I'm going to start with the epic public speaker, Sister Zakia. Sister Zakia, tell me what's in it for the black people this mountain.
Hey, that's what the black alderman down there should be saying, and should have been saying for years and years. What's in it for the black folks? That's their job. That's what we vote for them for. But listen, hey, let me tell you something. First of all, I want to say this to Todd. When he made the statement, all of us were not there, that we were there for a circus. But all of us wasn't there for a circus, Todd. We had some legitimate concerns, and if you had come out to be with the people, then you would have heard the concerns and seen the sincerity.
Yes. And no, I did not say that they came out only for the circus, but you knew there was going to be something going down. And if you tell me you didn't, I don't believe it.
Well, I was really glad, and I hope you all were too, that the majority of the PAC City Council were black people down there. Alderman Joe Moore, David Moore. David Moore had students down there in his ward from Benjamin Mays School. I think a sister by the name of Carol brought him down there. Let's talk about some positive stuff for a change. We had black students down there in the city council. It was packed with black people down there. We were in good spirits, and those of us that worked in the Harold Washington campaign, it was like deja vu. Only during Harold Washington, he had Badoliak with him. He had Mel jumping up on the desk with him. So they double teamed up there. So we were glad to see Ed Burke get, as you call it, made Pimp smack. But what you didn't hear is when Ed Burke brought up that pettiness about the gender, she told him and looked at him very definitely, you will speak when I want to hear from you. Oh, I holler. That's what she told Ed Burke. And you think his face is red on a regular basis. It got red and redder. But I want to say this. Look out for 3 aldermen. And some of us here in Washington folks sit around and we summarize this. You know, we have to.
You got to close, Sister Zakia.
Right.
Come on.
3 aldermen you better watch out for. Beware of Lopez and, of course, Burke and Thompson, Dallas' nephew, because he kept asking to reintroduce these bills. And Lopez crying about Latinos being left out. Well, hell, they took the 15 wards from black folks.
They asking for 8 more too, Sister Zakia. I gotta let you go. But you know what she told? I still say.
Sister Zakia, as he tried to say my point was invalid, stated that they loved it.
I'm gonna tell you, who did not love this scene in the movie?
Big time. You're incapable of running the. Sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
Woo, Lori Lightfoot. Then could you imagine, Lord? Can I tell you what I wish? I wish right now I had the artistic skills to draw. Because if I could draw, you know how John Cass had the Romfather picture on his wall? I would draw Lori Lightfoot in a cat suit with a whip and all of the black. I would have had Ed Burke in one of them, like dressed up like a those people that say the S&M. Like Lori Lightfoot,
yeah.
I would have Lori Lightfoot was the dominatrix of the city council yesterday.
And Patrick Thompson, he was actually part of the group. That was his role, was to get up and ask for reconsideration.
Oh, now was he part of which group?
The mayor's group.
Oh, so he was part of the mayor's group. That's because I'm telling you, the Daily's in on this, bro. I'm gonna just tell you, the Dailies are in on this. The people that are her Northside shanties, the Dailies made them the Northside shanties. I'm gonna tell y'all that. Yeah, so y'all, no shade at all. But who is the #1 enemy of the Dailies? Ed Burke. Okay, I'm thinking they planned that whole thing out. Like the dismantling of Burke, I think is more than other people. See, I think that this is also an Irish power play. See, I think that you use the black person to do all the dirt, and then you come back on the second go round. So wait a minute. If Patrick was asking to making the motion to reconsider, what committee did he get? When did that come around? So he was at the pre-meeting? Because if he made the motions to reconsider, because that used to be a Burke thing, or it used to be a Bill thing, which means that maybe Patrick Thompson is in on the shanking. Did anybody white speak up at all yesterday? Or did they sit back and watch the circus? Because I think they done already made their deals time. And they just sit back, watch, and let the Negroes fight.
Nobody's getting on the wrong side of the big player, and the big player is the mayor.
It's the Talk of Chicago 1690. We'll be back.
More of the morning show with Blaze Jackson coming.
Walk out in the yard and get shanked.
Who got him? Look, they like, who's going to take him?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
What would have been hilarious is, what if all the council, don't be surprised if there's a move to censure Ed Burke during these. Like, could you imagine a motion to censure Ed, like if he gets indicted?
Oh, well, I was talking to a friend of mine who's very political, and he thinks, I mean, this is, without having a lot of facts, but he doesn't think that Ed Burke is going to be convicted of anything.
Okay.
And
that's the belief of everybody that is old school Chicago. Like, if you are Chicago, until everybody told you, until they put him away like this, then no one's gonna believe it. And my thing is, they done made too much of a stink for them not to do something.
Yeah, I mean, I see exactly where he was coming from, though. It's just this long period of time. This isn't the first time Ed Burke has talked to the Fed. That's why I'm pretty sure he feels like they don't have anything solid.
I think that we all what do you call it? Not prejudge the situation. What do you call that? We have predisposed bias, or as it relates to Ed Burke. And I think if you are a longtime Chicagoan, you cannot fathom something happening to Ed Burke. You just can't do it. You just are like, he always wins. He'll throw someone else under the bus. I think what has happened.
I think that's exactly how people feel.
I think what has happened is, first of all, the new the head FBI agent in that's here, the newest one, he made his whole career on prosecuting corruption. I'm not talking about the U.S. attorney. I'm talking about the head of the FBI. So when you talk about 9 months of wiretaps and them coming in and making a public display, they've done this. He's done this before. He made his career doing this. I think that Todd, oftentimes, even though he's on the morning show, and it's even with me, because we have been political, we are under the political guise, right? We are under the political mystique of Ed Burke. I think that all the aldermen sitting there watching that and even listening to their response could not believe it happened because they are under the Ed Burke mystique. The federal prosecutor that sits on the chair is like, fuck your mystique. And I think that the swag in which she operates is knowing that if you know that this dude is the most notorious guy, they got him because they know that you will start seeing stories every day in Sneed from Ed Burke. You will start seeing stories leaked, etc. I think that Ed Burke has... Are we back?
No.
No. I think Ed Burke has... I think we operate in two worlds. I think we operate in the political world of knowing what has happened and seeing it happen and being like, I done been here for 50 years and they ain't never got this dude, they don't never get him. And I think everybody thinks that Ed Burke is smarter than he is. And I think that yesterday, Lori Lightfoot proved no one in the world would have ever questioned Ed Burke on that. They would have just changed it. She was like, she's like, F your couch.
Yeah, that's what it was such a minute thing. He played into her hands. The Miracles used to do that.
I didn't get it.
The Miracles used to do that when they sing. The Miracles, they used to do that. This was the Miracles.
What? Do it.
No, I mean, I don't know how to do it well, but they move around and they had dance moves.
Oh yeah, you bet. You are tuned into the Top of Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, in the building. Y'all, look, I want to talk about Cannabis got passed the Senate yesterday. It is probably going to fly through the House today. I'm looking to talk to State Senator Toy Hutchinson. She was the lead sponsor she was the black lead in the Senate. Now, Kelly Cassidy and Kelly Cassidy and Heather Staines are the two lead sponsors, but two black legislators, Senator Toy Hutchinson, State Senator Toy Hutchinson, who just yesterday shepherded the marijuana legalization bill out of the Senate.
Now, isn't that interesting? So here we got these two white ladies from the North Side, and they're leading this effort. I know Toy, she was very vociferous, but that didn't make her the chief sponsor.
Cause the white folks gotta get this first. So this is the problem, and I said this a long time ago, man. And I think that. So I guess. First of all, I don't think black people would be courageous enough to take the lead on a cannabis bill and I think that if a black sponsor was trying to sponsor this, white people across the whole world would be like, oh no, You think the Negroes are probably about to try and set their uncles and cousins up to be multi-millionaire drug dealers, and it would have been. So I think that if you want to get something safely passed in a state like Illinois, you got to find you a white woman. So I think that they found them some white women to get it done. But then I think as we started to kick and scream and push and ask that same question, Todd, because, you know, when they first talked about it, they had 2 white legislators came in on WVON talking about criminal justice reform, and we got to legalize this to make it all good for the black people. And I was like, what black people do you represent? And I think they got wise. And then, so that's how Toy and Jahan, I'm not going to say that's how they got there, but I know that Toy and Jahan have been very instrumental. And I'll be honest with you, Jahan has been keeping us up to date step by step by step. One of the things that she's been pretty adamant about is saying that, you know, we don't have any real advocates in Springfield that are standing on the necks of the black or the white legislators, right? Like, we have these lobby days, which are giant stunts. Like, every legislator knows that, ooh, it's a lobby day. Ooh, they're going to bring 100 people. They're going to scream in the hallways for an hour. And then they're going to have to get on their bus back to Springfield. And guess what? So
they'll
what?
be gone.
Right, they'll be gone, and we'll get to do what we got to do. And so one of the things that we've got to do, y'all, is as they pass these bills, because I was watching something in Maryland where they were saying how the Black Caucus had put all the, not Maryland, in Boston. Where's Boston?
What? Massachusetts?
Massachusetts. And they were saying how they had put all these things in play for black people, yet there was still not one black dispensary 2 years later. So we got to figure this thing out. But I think it's on the legislators to get it in there. But I'm going to tell y'all, we need to be kicking the marijuana industry's butt. Like, I'm not talking about, we don't need to be in collaboration with them. We need to be forcing their hands. Like, right now, a lot of our organizations are being co-opted. What I am seeing is, like, they're starting to find church organizations and things that signal that black people are all in support of this, and they're behind these giant white companies. They're sponsoring little events and, you know, making a pittance of the billions of dollars that they are making. And I don't know if there's anybody black that needs to be doing a touchdown dance. I don't see it articulated yet. Now, that stated, this doesn't this it's getting marijuana will be legal by January 1st. This is getting done. And I think that the language, and when you saw it pass out of the Senate, it's done. It's gonna pass the House. I think there'll be some tweaks, there'll be some adjustments. But I have yet to see an articulated plan. I shout out to Christian Mitchell, got $10 million more for the loan fund. I think that it is going to be incumbent upon us to dissect the bill, determine where the areas of opportunity for black people are, and then force the hands of the marijuana industry. And I think we need to force the hands. Look, J.B. Pritzker, did anybody see J.B. come out and talk about, besides saying social justice, we need social equity and the war on crime? Y'all know the JB family getting paid off this already. Right? They done already invested in the marijuana funds. Right? Now, they put a ban in to stop Senator Van Pelt and anybody else, but nobody asked about the funds that were created years ago that are making people billionaires. When I hear these white companies saying, we can't let people in until we make our money back because we've invested millions. Well, nah, fool, we just saw you have a public offering. Somebody just bought your company. You made your money back because white folks got the money to bet on the company. So, Todd, because I imagine we're going to wake up tomorrow and there's going to be cheerleading and people are going to be talking and crying in the streets, talking about, we did it! We did it! What the hell did we do? Make white people rich again?
Smoke, man.
Man. And I'm going to tell you, because we going to consume. I'm going to tell you. Right. They going to get me on the press conference. My cousin going to be there. I got to get something for my cousin. But I do think, I think we are, it is unfortunate in my estimation that we have not heard from our legislators or leaders to the masses. We got to get from a point of cooking, like hiding, and then coming back and saying, this is what we got, this the best we could do?
Right.
See, like, the police, the fire, everybody done came down and said, we got to still make... Them sheriffs like, man, we still need to lock these Negroes up. How we going to make our money? So they changed the bill. So now you can't grow... You can brew beer at home, but you can't grow marijuana at home? That's why, because they want another reason to lock you up. Hey, y'all. I got to read this bill tonight, and we're going to talk about it tomorrow morning. I'm going to hope to be talking to State Representative Jahan Gordon as well as State Senator Toy Hutchinson. Sonya, you need to get them on the phone. They need to tell black people what's up. Also, I want somebody to find Bob Reeder for me and find out what's going on with and Terry Link. And I want to know what's going on with this black game. And I saw Senator Jones wrote a letter asking the governor to think about us. They about to pass a bill. What's our cut? It's Talk Chicago 1690. We'll be back.
Yeah, I had some lunch with guys. We were talking about that bill. And I wasn't sure if it would pass right now.
It's passing.
You think so?
It's
So
done.
many things involved.
It's done. It's done. It is done. It is. It is. That cake is so baked it ain't even funny, bro.
Oh, they've been working on this for longer than I think, huh?
Man, that cake was baked. Yes. What happened to mine? Todd, you got the camera. The tears of a clown.
Man, we have Xavier University drama.
What, they can't find the school?
Well,
Oh, yeah.
no. It's just-
'Cause if it's a
there's
smile.
a lot of change that the administration wants to do, and the alumni are concerned about it.
Y'all need to get Carrie on the board at Xavier.
Oh. She wants to be on the board?
Yep.
Well, I bet that we could do that.
Huh?
I bet that wouldn't be that hard. I think.
She's a chemist, controls a multi-billion-dollar agency. Water is an issue in New Orleans, right? Mark Morial was like, wait a minute. Because, with all them levees and all that stuff, think about it.
Yeah, no. I'll let the alumni president know. That's important.
Carrie is black girl magic and personified.
I know the alumni president. He was a year or two ahead of me or something. I'll send him a message about that.
That'd be good,
See what
man.
he says back.
Yeah. President Steele on the alumni board.
Yeah.
Multi-billion-dollar agency, 2,300 plus employees. Xavier graduate. Story. She worked her way up from working as a water sampler.
Shoes back in the day.
She was a water sampler as an intern and worked her way up to president.
Oh man, I remember the water samplers. Nice people. Slow job. Yeah. That was one of those jobs where there were a lot of black people involved. Kind of like what black people have fallen into. Yeah, those type of jobs that you never think about, water treatment plant operators and stuff like that. But that, yeah, having a chemistry degree and all that, and a biology and all that.
I gotta make fun of Henry Hartsfield right now. Henry Hartsfield, I said, why, you couldn't find Xavier? He said, it's on Carrollton and Palmetto. Like, it's on the corner. It's like a corner store. You can find it on Carrollton and Palmetto. Like, when you go to U of I, it's like it's the whole town, right? It's like, when you can put it is
a town itself.
Your doctor, one doctor is on, and then I'll put their titles on. But this is just some information if you want to ask them some questions. Okay, since you got to be on 4 to the 30. Oh, you have contests for the thing that Chicago Symphony.
Yeah,
I can't say
symphony.
that.
Right.
There's no
That's
T in it.
Huh?
There's no T in symphony.
Symphony.
Symphony. There's no T in it.
Why in the heck I can't say symphony? All right, here you go.
I need their names up there.
I'm gonna put them up there, and you have a contest. You can either do it toward the end of the show, but however you want to do it.
When is the show?
When is the what?
When is the common show?
Third. Monday.
It's here. So here
The
is
fifth.
the contest script. Here is the teaser you can give on the way back.
I'm gonna do it after I get rid of these. Do this.
All right, and I'm waiting for Joe Wash to tell me what time he can call in.
Hey, Sonia, play "Bang Your Head." Mental Health Will Drive You Mad by Quiet Riot. Bang your head. Mental health will drive you mad. Bang your head.
That we had in Xavier was we were in a real city right off the bat. I could walk around, take the trolley places, go to the Audubon Zoo, City Park.
How
We had
awesome.
good luck.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Man, you didn't know.
Mhm.
Just didn't know. And we had heat, which I know you didn't have. Yeah, we had more black people than you did.
You might.
Mike.
We had books. We had computers. You know. You know, like they were like, what are these new fangled? It came down to Xavier in 2000. What are these newfangled things you got here? What kind of box is this thing? This don't look like a keyboard. We was on Macs. Y'all was on IBM Selectric 2s.
You're probably right. We did all right, I think. President of the county board, president of water rec. I guess we did all right. The old poor country people. Yeah, just, licking our sugar cane sticks.
And what's those rats called? What were those things?
Rats?
What were those big old things the big old animals that used to be on the highway? What they call them? What you call them, Carrie?
I don't know.
Them sewer thing. They were like the big old, and they used to run across the highway. And I don't know what they call. Henry, what you call them things? What is it?
I never saw a rat. Thank the Lord. I've seen rats.
Henry, what's that big old thing? Them things they used to call them.
Yeah, we had nature now where we were. You didn't have no nature, boy.
No, but they had these big Golly, Carrie, if you up, tell me what the name of them rats was in New Orleans. Oh yeah, Nutri-Rats. Nutri-Rats. You don't know what them Nutri-Rats was? Oh, thanks, babe. Nutri-Rats. That's what they called.
That must have been after I left.
What up, J. Rome in the house? Nutria-Rats.
I still don't know.
Wake up!
J. Roman in his house.
Rise and shine with the WVON Morning Show. Wake up! Featuring Maze Jackson.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
The WVON Morning Show.
Hey, y'all, we got the big willies. Same. Reza! Oh, Victor! Ah! Bang your head! Mental health will drive you mad! Bang your head! ain't no deeper to bring the noise. Bolingbrook in this bad boy, what you gonna do? Bang your head. Metal out the drive you mad. Bang your head. Metal out the drive you mad. You are tuned into the top of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, in the building. Let me tell y'all what, we doing it live right here. You know what? Shout out to everybody from the crib. This goes to all the Bolingbrookers out here listening. 630 area code. You know what?
All for you.
You know what, boy? Don't. We already got one on the list. Don't get on it too.
On the Bolingbrook list.
Yeah, okay. Hey, y'all, it's Talk Chicago 1690. It's Maze Jackson, Todd Stroger. But y'all know how we got to do at the top of the hour. Got to say what's up to the WVON Morning Show crew. What's up to the Net Floor Noise? Isn't that why you shaking your head? You don't want to bang your head?
Quiet Riot, for real?
Quiet Riot.
For real?
For real. What you know about Quiet Riot?
I knew about Quiet Riot.
See? And you didn't even grow up in the suburbs. See, look what I'm talking about. Now, we got to say what's up to the Wonder Twins. That's right, Sonia Escobar and Sonia Tompkins. How y'all feeling, ladies?
You're not from Chicago.
Well, let me tell you what. We're going to bang your head, though. We're going to bang it hard. It's the WVON Morning Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. But there was a reason that we played that song besides banging heads. It is mental health and addiction. You know, May is May is Health Awareness Month. And one of our big sponsors is St. Bernard Hospital. And so today, at the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to talk to St. Bernard, and we're going to be talking to, Hilton Gordon. He's the internist, addiction, and medical care director of the Family Guidance Center, as well as Mark Tribe. He's the vice president of the Family Guidance Center. And we're going to talk about addictions today. Gentlemen, welcome to the morning show. How are you today?
Thank you, Maze and Todd. This is Mark. I am great.
And this is Dr. Gordon, and thanks for waking us up this morning.
Well, have you ever heard that song before? You know anything about that?
I do not.
Oh my goodness. See, we got to educate you guys. But look, guys, we want to talk today about addiction and how it impacts the lives and families in our community. And I think it's at a unique time because we are now talking about the legalization of cannabis in Illinois, but I think it is going to be moving towards a place where previously unacceptable drugs are now being introduced into the marketplace. Talk to me about, first of all, the legalization of drugs and how it affects the addiction process right now.
Well, I think they always, Dr. Gordon here, they always used to talk about one drug would lead to another drugs. For instance, in the old days, marijuana would lead to cocaine. Cocaine may lead to heroin and alcohol. And one leads the other. The bottom line with marijuana, I think the jury is still out, even though it's being legalized in quite a few states. I still have reservations about what it could do to the younger population. And as their brains are forming and they're learning. And although I have many friends who have smoked marijuana their whole lives, and they seem to be pretty good. So the jury is out. We will see. It looks like it's going to be legal in Illinois, though.
All right. Well, so as we talk about that, let's talk about addiction. Talk to me about what exactly is addiction and how does it impact families and their lives every day?
So how did we get to this point is a question. As you know, back in the 90s, the Medical Association stated that they didn't want people to be in pain. So therefore, doctors started writing scripts of Vicodin, morphine, Demerol, whatever, to help people who are in some sort of pain. Drug companies would be pushing these sort of ideas, not telling us that there's a high incidence of addiction. So after a while, that's what happened. These people on pills became addicted, and now the government has stopped doctors from really working with that philosophy, so they've cut way back. Therefore, these patients who were getting these pills had to find another way to get medication, and they found heroin, which was cheaper, and that led them to the addiction of heroin, where they would get high, then without it they would get severe withdrawals, and that's where we are today.
So,
Yeah, you know,
go ahead,
Todd, it just reminds me, I remember like when celebrities started doing this, I didn't really pay much attention. And then they started talking about it, and it was just as you stated. So even the people who were making money and famous would have something happen, have back surgery, and they get these drugs, and then all of a sudden they find out, man, I still need drugs, and they just go out like the ordinary citizen on the street and start buying heroin, which is easy to come by. But I don't want to trivialize this, but I didn't really think a lot about addiction until I started watching a TV show called Mom, and everybody on the show is addicted to something, and it just made me think of America. And my uncle used to be an alcoholic when he was alive, and how easy it is to fall in that, but how hard it is to fall out.
I'll tell you one thing, Todd. It's like once you're addicted, you have the devil inside you. And these poor people who become addicted, and they are fine people, believe me, but they can't beat the devil. And it takes a lot of work to get him out of your system. And that's what we here at Family Guidance, and Mark, who's on the phone, help develop. And we have a program that hopefully can abolish this situation in the nearest future.
Let me ask a question. What does an addicted person look like? Where do they come from? What neighborhood do they live in?
They come from all sectors of society. As you mentioned, celebrities, poor people, rich people, blue-collar people. All suburbs are hit, the northern suburbs, the southern suburbs here. I work in, we have clinics in Aurora, Des Plaines, Harvey, Chicago, Wabash, Springfield. We're all over the place, and I can tell you that white, black, Hispanic kids who are 16, 17 shooting drugs, everybody has been hit, at least in this epidemic.
You know what, guys? We got to go to break. When we come back, I want to talk about some of the solutions that St. Bernard provides, and I also want to talk about kind of the racism in the treatment of addiction. It seemed like addiction was not really as big of an issue until it started affecting white people in the suburbs. But before it seemed to be, and part of the reason I asked that question is because it seemed to be that when we thought of drugs and drug addicts, we always thought of black people on the streets breaking in and taking your TVs. I want to talk about the change in perception of addicts as we move forward. It's Talk Chicago 1690. We'll be back.
More of the morning show with
Todd, you got the camera.
Oh man, addiction is a terrible thing. My uncle was an alcoholic. It wasn't drug addiction, but it was like all his life, literally all his adult life, from his teenage years till he died.
See if you can find some Samuel L. Jackson.
I actually know a couple of doctors who were convicted and sent to jail for over-prescribing people. And this was probably, I guess, in the mid-'90s or late '90s. There was, as the doctor was talking about, there was this big push for pain management. That's when all these pain management clinics started popping up. And I've seen and read other things about how the drug companies, how drug companies are. They get a new product, they want to sell it, they're trying to make a lot of money, they push it on the doctors, and like, look, this will do this for you, Doctors start prescribing that stuff, but they prescribe a lot of stuff without telling people that, man, there's effects to you taking this. You have to be careful, and you have to stop at a certain time. So, man, a lot of people have just fallen into that trap. And, like celebrities who have more ability to get things
And you know
like
what?
Prince,
You got Future song Percocet.
you know, and I guess Michael Jackson. You know, they got pain. They are giving some highly powerful drugs to take the pain away, and then the doctor's like, well, I can't give you any more because it'll be harmful for you. They still have the pain, but now they have a desire to break it, and their ability to get these painkillers is greater than ours, and they end up overdosing on something crazy or mixing medicine or something, and this is nothing to play with.
Ooh, how about I want a new drug?
St. Bernard's is one of the hospitals we call a safety net hospital. It's a smaller hospital that deals with a lot of people who may be on Medicaid and a fair number of Medicare, and there's a lot of them throughout the system. And the substance abuse has become a very big thing for these hospitals because, for one thing, there's a lot of people like doctor services, and they literally kind of go to the different hospitals that provide help for this. And I'm on the board of a hospital, and it's not just people like 20 and 25. They have a whole a senior category for people who are addicted to drugs and are detoxing and all kind of stuff. So this is a big issue in America. Probably not as big in other places, but in America, this is a big thing.
America.
Prince got an America song.
Huh? You said Prince?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I like that. America, America, God shed His grace on you. America, America, got some dun 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 dun.
Woo! That's the part I remember.
Woo! Where are all of my video? Where do we go? America, America, God shed His grace on you.
Percocet. And I have to apologize.
Percocet.
I have to apologize to the doctors for having to listen to this.
You are tuned into Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. And Todd, we are talking to the Vice President of the Guidance Center, Mark Triba, as well as Hilton Gordon. He's the Internist in Addiction and Medical Director for the Family Guidance Center at St. Bernard Hospital. Gentlemen, talk to us about the change in perception of addiction since the opioid crisis.
Well, I did want to say one thing.
Go ahead, Todd.
Before you... It seems like since the modern age, I consider the modern age for this purpose, after World War II, where Mama's Little Helper and all that, we've just been heading towards this for decades?
Guys, excuse me. Are you guys on speakerphone? So we got a crazy echo. I don't know what's going on. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't want to interrupt you, but I wasn't here. Go ahead.
With our warm handoff services that are sponsored by the Illinois Department of Human Services Substance Use Prevention and Recovery Division, we work with the patients while they're in the hospital using motivational interviewing and frequent visits and working to assess their readiness for change, and then literally getting them to the next step, whatever that might be, whatever they are ready for. For example, outpatient counseling, residential treatment, intensive outpatient. And about 2 years ago, the beginning of May in 2017, the hospital allowed us to open the first methadone-based program in their ambulatory care center in the state of Illinois. And we're serving over 580 patients daily, predominantly from the Englewood, Woodlawn, and surrounding zip codes.
So let me stop you right there real quick. So tell me, how do people qualify for these services? What do they have to do if they have an addiction issue and they want to come and be a part of your program?
They should call us, and they should call the St. Bernard Clinic. We have a immediate access to care program, and the phone number for that clinic is area code 773-635-2060. And one of our staff will hear their story and get them connected with the nearest neighborhood clinic. That's the call center for St. Bernard, but if you live in Bronzeville, we have a location at 2630 South Wabash. If you live further south, we're right next to Ingalls Hospital on Page and Wood. And all they have to do, which is the toughest step, is make the call. And we will see them within one business day.
What if parents have children that are affected by or addicted to drugs, or that they believe are addicted to drugs? What do you recommend for them?
I recommend that they seek treatment for their kids and that they talk to them about they can recover, they can get back on track and live a fulfilling, productive life. That recovery is possible.
And I'd like to say one thing. I know Mark was talking about the warm handoff. I think you need to understand how important that is. That means a patient gets into our detox facility here at St. Bernard's. It's a wonderful 3-day detox where people are sick as a dog, which I happened to see this morning getting ready for your show. Throwing up, cramps, diarrhea. We treat that person, and we then on the 3rd day walk them to our methadone program. So there is no waiting. You don't give them an appointment and say, okay, we can help you get into this program, but it may take a month, because as you know, people are overdosing on the streets of Chicago every day. They just had a terrible incident, I think, was it Holman in Chicago recently, where a lot of people overdosed. So we try to decrease that overdose rate by getting them right over to the programs.
Well, I'm going to tell you, we know that, I live out west, and I was seeing people when the heroin thing hit, this last one, and they were just lean, and you saw everybody with the dope fiend lean, and they were all bent over, and I was wondering, how do we get them services? You know, addiction is a real problem, not just in the black community. I want to be clear that it is impacting people everywhere. It seems like every day I turn on the news and I see a story of somebody picking up heroin, now the whole fentanyl thing. And then I've also got concerns about how it will be dealt with as young people as we move towards legalization. How will it impact young people? But one of the things we do know is that there are services and there are opportunities and there are ways to help. St. Bernard is one of those places. So we want to encourage you, if you know someone that is suffering from addiction, or if you are suffering from addiction, you need to go to St. Bernard. They have their family guidance center where they will get you in a 3-day detox and then help you with a warm handoff. And if you don't know what the warm handoff is, it really makes the transition from helping you get yourself to a point of cleanliness to actually going to another set of services. Gentlemen, is there anything else that we need to let people know? And if not, can you tell them how to contact you one more time, as well as your website?
One last thing, and I'll let Mark finish with you.
Sure.
Today I was in the detox unit, and then later I went to the methadone program. I went to people throwing up with cramps, bent over, to people with sparkles in their eye. It was tremendous to see the difference in what getting off drugs can do. And that's what we try to do for the population.
All right, your contact numbers for the St. Bernard Clinic is area code 773-635-2060. And our website is www.fgcinc.org.
Thank you, guys. That is Mark Triba. He's the Vice President of the Family Guidance Center, as well as Dr. Hilton Gordon. He's an internist of addiction and medical director at the Family Guidance Center. Gentlemen, we appreciate everything that you do, and thanks for being with us here on WVON.
And thank you, guys.
Take care.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you after traffic and the weather. And guys, we got an opportunity to win some tickets to see Common and the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. We'll talk about it all when we come back.
The station, 1690 AM.
So the black hospital, safety net hospitals, have become a treasure trove of wealth for white people who have figured out how to maximize the benefits and the cares.
You doing your contest now? Are we done with the money this time, Bill?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, just let me know when you do your contest. You can tease it, and then so I can have all my stuff together. Because we gotta get the people off the phone first.
We'll do the tease before we go out, and we'll take the call. We'll go do the tease before I go out to break. Them people took us from over 200 people to down 100 to 115.
Well, you should tell your boss about it.
I mean, I'm not tripping. It's like, but it's like
It's important information, though.
I think it's important information, but I do think that so my challenge with all of these things is that they need to have a black spokesperson. They need to have a black outreach person. So I'm not tripping, but it's like you trying to talk to us and it's like Bueller. I mean, you got to be able to talk to the people. And my biggest challenge with all of these things is that all of our safety net hospitals have become profitable enterprises. There are white folks that have figured out how to profit off of social services. And so one of the things, so they know that they'll get all the Medicaid money, so they want to attract a lot of people, which I'm not tripping on. But again, it's always, to me, so another part is, in full disclosure, the people that I lobbied with used to lobby for St. Bernard. And so I'm not going to talk about it except to say that, white folks be like, man, we can make a killing off of this. Literally. And then when you see the white guy and the Mexican, but they pushing,
Here's what I want us to do going forward, because you make a valid point. When we have these sort of things that we have to do, then maybe you and Todd can sit in these meetings with us, because guess who's all in the meetings? The sales reps, because they have to go and get these people as clients.
Yeah.
And they're not reaching out as you just eloquently said, we need to have black people on. They're not going to do that. They're not thinking about that at all. They're just getting the clients for us.
I mean, I think that the thing has to be like, instead of just saying stick this in the show, it's like I feel like if I have the time to think about something, I understand sales makes the whole thing go.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, but you gotta kind of make it match the show too, right? So it's like the reason people want to be on the show is because it's popular, right? So if it's popular, you don't want to. What you do should not take away from the popularity. It should add or it should enhance. So when you see it drop because we've lost the engagement of people who are interacting, instead of saying, well, we just gonna put two guys on and we gonna let them talk, it's like, okay, like,
I get it. That's what the.
But I mean, it's like that meeting.
Outside of our clients, like the young lady we had yesterday, the surgery woman.
Yeah,
those are the people I reach out for, and I know what to put on for us. You know.
I mean, I feel like
That
addiction
was-
could have been a real issue. I mean, but I think you got to be able to have it. Like, I think like they didn't know Percocet, right? So if you could have said like, what's the role of music playing to getting our kids addicted to these drugs, right? Like, you got to think it out. And so that if we're gonna do a segment on, it's one thing to come to a sales meeting, right? But it's like we also gotta eat, right? So I mean, I'm saying like, so that's more hours. All I'm saying is when they have those things, like I want you to be like, yeah, okay, y'all, we could do whatever, but we got to sit down and think about. So even if you say on Friday, we all need to sit down and talk about this because we know this segment is coming and we got to do it. I don't have a problem doing whatever is asked as it relates to getting sales because that's what essentially funds what we do. I am just suggesting that instead of, like, if we know our audience, why not say, y'all know y'all audience, this is what we trying to do. Give me something back in 3 days because I got to go to these clients. St. Bernard is on, but man, what can we do that's going to be relevant to this? I would have built the show that led up into...
That's not how it works, though. So that's why I said you all need to be in the meetings. Because what happens is Melody figure out topics, right? Before we get any guests. And she distributes all these topics on people's shows. That's what she does. So it's like when it comes to our paid sponsors.
Okay, but I'm saying if the paid sponsor... my thing is if the paid...
Sometimes I won't know who's coming on because they're looking for doctors and they have to figure out these doctors' schedules. So it's kind of...
I'm not talking... Okay, so my thing is a paid sponsor, though. Does the paid sponsor just want to be on, or does the paid sponsor want to be the most effective?
Understood. I got that.
So
in essence, I know you want to build around your show, but some things are not as quickly done as they should be.
So did we know that these people was gonna come on and talk about this topic yesterday? Okay.
Yeah. Cool. And that's the same with all of them. So some things I just didn't know. You know, because they may change doctors on because doctors have these.
As long as they got what they wanted, I'm not tripping. I just try to make it the best for everybody. But as long as they cool with it, then I'm cool. I think that oftentimes we want to reinvent the wheel instead of saying that the wheel goes in the split. Let me shut up. You are tuned into the Talk of Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. Todd, we just
I
wrapped
think
up with,
Elmer Fudd and Buzz Bunny probably dancing.
to this.
I don't know.
That is funny.
This is the kind of stuff that they would play.
Whatever happened to Elmer Fudd and Bugs Bunny? You know what? I don't know what happened.
Competition, baby.
Man, they got whooped up. Let me tell y'all that you know that on Thursdays, today at midnight, the podcast Uncomfortable Conversations dropped. That's me and my guy Joe Walsh. Now, I'm going to tell y'all. So I got a question, and we're going to get in a little trouble. I'm glad it's a podcast, it's not on air. So we talked yesterday about a couple things. We talked about abortion rights that were going on in all these states, but the extrapolation of abortion rights into devolving into the concept of states' rights and what states' rights could mean to black people long term.
The Handmaid's Tale.
Then we talked about resegregation. We talked about the fact that, you may hear me say this, and I think it might be a little weird for white folks to hear, but I talked about the fact that I think that the only thing that has been desegregated is where black people can spend their money.
Right. Now we have the ability to spend our money in mass outside of our own community.
Right.
Yeah.
But I said it looked like, if you see the south side of Chicago in the morning, it looks like South Africans headed from their townships to go work in the city and then come back. And if you look at the neighborhoods, they look like townships. Then, here's where I think I'm going to get in the most trouble, because nobody don't really care about when we say black stuff. But before I do that, let me do this, because we got to pay the bills. Got to say what's up. Do you remember, Todd, that May is Health Awareness Month, and it is May 30th? Did you know that 1 in 3 American adults have high blood pressure? Several factors that are beyond your control can increase your risk for high blood pressure. These include your age, sex, and race or ethnicity. But you can work to reduce your risk by eating a healthy diet, maintaining a healthy weight, not smoking, and being physically active. See your provider if you think you may have high blood pressure. This is a healthy tip brought to you by Resurrection University. See what ResU can do for you. Start your career now at Resurrection University. So, now that we have talked about that, let me just say, the other part that Joe told me what a handsome guy I was and how much he loved me, my brother. He said, man, you're a good looking dude. And I said, thanks, Joe. No homo. And Joe said, what the heck do you mean, no homo? Here to talk to us about no homo, resegregation, as well as the potential for states' rights to devolve into resegregation is my buddy, the white guy, Joe Walsh, co-host of our podcast, Uncomfortable Conversations. Joe, are you there?
Maze, I'm here, and let me just say this. Hey, Todd, good to see you. I think Todd Stroger is a handsome black man as well.
No homo. No homo.
I got no problem with it. I think you're right.
See,
I'm comfortable in my skin.
I'm sure that you are, man.
So
I keep on telling Mace I'm older than you.
So guys, Joe was commenting on my boyish good looks. And he was complimenting me, and it got to a point where I was like, thanks, Joe, but no homo. And Joe was in shock. And
I had no idea.
And I was like, I didn't mean it as an offensive word. I just meant that our affection, we want to be clear that our affection is not based in a homosexual love affair. And Joe was appalled. He was like, I can't believe, Maze, I'd never heard that. And I was like, there was a time when...
He didn't go to U of I guess.
No. So Joe felt like that might be offensive. And I was thinking, and it led us into this conversation of, it's why do we feel like you can't just be okay with homosexuality, that you have to love, hug, and embrace it. Joe was scared about. He said that was going to be the most controversial thing we talked about. Is there something
like it to me.
to verify the fact that you're not a homosexual but you still have affection? Is that a bad thing?
No, that you feel that you have to make a statement about it. I guess that's what I would say.
Joe, your thoughts?
And just the word, like the word homo, I didn't know like we said that word anymore. So when you said no homo, that just threw me for a loop.
Yeah, see, but it's not like I walk around and say that guy, like we don't use it in an attacking word, right? We use it as a term of affection, endearment. Can't we use it? So let me ask a question, guys. Has anybody ever heard that phrase, no homo?
No.
Sonia, have you? I mean, I think it's a pretty, like, for the modern times, with so many people defining themselves with the LGBTQ. Joe, you got offended by that, but then you say LGBTQ. How do you say it?
It's the LGBTQTWXYZ movement.
See? Now, and he took offense. So look, we talked about that yesterday. You all check out the podcast. Joe, we also talked about the whole concept of the return to states' rights. I am concerned that this anti-abortion movement is a setup, is an underplay for the overlay, which is a return to Jim Crow, or even at worst case, slavery. You tended to disagree.
And I think you're crazy. And because abortion, there's nothing about abortion in the Constitution. It's already in the Constitution now. No slavery, no Jim Crow. That day is gone. States' rights is a good thing, Mays. You got nothing to worry about.
I'm gonna tell you, Joe. We always got something to worry about. When you're
right.
black, when you're black in America, you
Okay, Joe. Now I'm like, oh, he lives in a different neighborhood.
See, that Joe is like, I told you, Joe is one of those Barrington guys. You know, I was saying, like, I'm going to tell you, Barrington is going to pass a law that says no. And then, Joe.
You two are so biased against the suburbs.
No.
I got relatives living in the suburbs.
Joe, you can't say that. You know, people would run up and say, we have COINTELPRO agents that make fun of the fact that think I still live in the suburbs. It's crazy, man.
He runs back to Bolingbrook like every chance he gets. So.
And then here's our final one, Joe. We talked about the concept of segregation or resegregation, and we both agreed. Joe, I said that I thought that one of the worst things that happened to black people was desegregation. You said that you thought that if a person wants to open up a restaurant that says they only serve white people, that they should be able to open it. I agree.
Well, I made you agree. So if a person wants to open a restaurant and only serve black people, they should be able to.
Well, shoot, I think that's most of the restaurants on the south side.
That's the craziest thing I ever heard. But I will say that if I know the chef doesn't want black people, I'm not going in.
So that's my point, though. But that is my point. And Joe said, so Joe believed that if there was a white-only restaurant opened up, it would go out of business. I said there'd be people coming from far and wide to go to it, just to keep it open. And let me tell you what. And then there'd be black people standing in line like, we gotta eat here. We gotta eat here.
Well, no, black people probably would try to flood the place.
Right, try to flood the place to go eat somewhere where nobody wants you to eat. Joe, this is why we do uncomfortable conversations, because everything we just talked about, extremely uncomfortable. Hey, man, tell people how they can catch you.
Follow me on Twitter, @WallsFreedom. Good to talk to both of you guys. No homo.
All right, Joe. We'll talk to you later, man. It is the WVON Morning Show. When we come back, we'll wrap this thing up. And I want to know, black people, how do we go from I to we? The black monolith has been put in front of us as a bad thing. But as we look at our collective power, we don't have much individually. But if you add it all up, pack it together, we could be the most powerful thing in the city of Chicago. What happened, y'all? Let's talk Chicago 1690. We'll be back.
May is Health Awareness Month. Fact, as we aim.
Oh, Lord, they took us out.
That doesn't sound good. I don't know what that is, but excuse me. Oh man, I can't wait to listen to Joe and Mays as they talk about their relationship. Being it as it is.
It was funny. He was like, Man, my handsome brother, you know what? He was saying something, and I was like, hold it. No homo, bro.
No. I mean, I haven't heard anybody quite say that, but I do know that it's taboo among men, and I'm assuming that even white men to ever say that another man is good looking just off the
TV.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you are handsome.
Yes, I mean, I remember one day saying, "Oh, you're a handsome man like your father," and then I was like, "No, that's probably not gonna go well."
Right.
I'm never saying that again.
Because the next thing is, hey man, is Ty gay?
Yeah, right. That's right. He probably said to his father, "He's gay, huh?" His father probably said, "I don't know."
Well, son.
He's married.
But you know that's just a beard. That's what I say when somebody is married. I'm be like, that's a beard, it's a fake. They only have that just to make sure that nobody calls you gay.
Those were the days. I don't know if they do that so much anymore. Thursday. A lot of stuff on your plate?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, do you want a job? You want some work to do?
You mean like get paid?
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
You want to go work on a city license?
A city license?
Mm-hmm.
You're going downtown or something?
I mean, I'm going to eventually, but I can give you the work and pay you for it. I mean, I don't have a problem doing it if you want to. It could be an initial opportunity.
Can I do it? I won't screw it up, right?
No, it's all you gotta do is go take the paperwork down.
Screw something. Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I know them.
But by chance, come over. Celebrate. Hold you. Hey, you baby. Sugar. It's my part. But in my chance, let me come home, yeah. Save your baby. You are tuned into the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. Now let me ask you a question. You all want a chance to see Common? One night only. One night only. One night only. Monday, June 3rd at the Symphony Center, Chicago's own Common will join forces with a member of the Chicago Symphony Orchestra in a live concert. Now, y'all, I'm going to give you all a chance. Let me tell you what I need you to do. I need caller number 7 to win. You are going to win a pair of tickets to see Common Monday night, June 3rd in concert with our partner, the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. Now, all right, clear phone lines. Caller number 7, you call us right now. Wait, is that 773? Okay. Call us right now, 312-374-8130, 312-374-8130. If you want a chance to hear and see Chicago's own Common. Be the 7th caller, 312-374-8130 right now, and you will have a chance to win the tickets. All right, y'all, before we get out of here, though, I have been trying to figure out, y'all know I have been talking ad nauseum. After my incident last week, 2 weeks ago, Todd, at the 10th District State Rep,
Right.
It really got me to thinking about how do we collectively move forward when it seems like we got people pulling in different directions. how do we go from I to we in the black community? How do we go from being at war with each other to war at the enemy, with the enemy? You know, I was thinking about when I saw the young lady who was killed with her baby in her hands on the west side.
Yeah.
And I thought about the COINTELPRO agents that came busting up a meeting in the name of fighting for black people. And I wondered to myself, where is all of that energy when there's no money involved?
Mm-hmm.
When there's not an opportunity to get famous, where are all the people? Where, you know, I was thinking about as that young lady was killed, I thought about a time when we would go to, when somebody like a T.O. Hardeman would show up in that neighborhood and try and figure out who were the people that were at war or that were having the beef to make sure that it wasn't an escalation, that it didn't continue. And then you say, well, what happened to those people? Where did they go? How come Mayor Lightfoot's not talking to them? Because we've gotten away from we and let the eyes tell our story. So while we have some of the most effective tools to combat our desire to be we allow eyes to destroy our we. See, if the concept becomes that we give violence prevention to T.O. Hardeman in our community, I can guarantee you that if we said give it to T.O., I can guarantee you and I would be like, that he ain't the man, I'm the man. And would come jumping on the table. Be like, and essentially put us back to ground zero. Todd, how do we stop defeating ourselves and start focusing on getting real wins?
Hey man, that's a $1 million question, Bass. I think I mentioned before that sometimes I'll get in discussions on Facebook and I'll talk about we are destroying ourselves. How are we going to stop this underlying violence that it pops up everywhere? Down the street for me. On Stony Island, I can think of 3 times in 2 years where there have been shootings, all on the expressways, like you're just saying about the young lady. It's just kind of random. My son on a bus in Hyde Park, and some people start shooting and running down the street. This isn't what we call normal. This isn't normal, right?
Right. Todd, we got people planning to go march down the middle of Michigan Avenue. Right? We're going to march down Michigan Avenue, but the shooting was in our name. The people on Michigan Avenue didn't do that.
No.
And we got all of these people that purport to represent the interests of our community. But if there's no camera, where are they to be found? I'm going to tell you that people like T.O. need to be funded. I think so. I really do.
He's proved that he could be effective.
He's proved that he could be effective, but you know what they say about the company you keep? The company you keep. Real talk, bro.
Well, I agree with you there.
I'm saying, so if you see...
I also say there's different lanes, and T.O.'s lane is violence prevention, and I think that's what he showed he could shine. He needs to stay in that lane and get as much as he can because we need it. But essentially, there's going to be... See, but the problem becomes that the funding has to go to the people that actually do it. See, some people just want the money, right? Right.
And so what you have is our violence prevention has become a hustle. It's become a hustle for some larger organizations, but when you get down to the grassroots level, everybody pushes the ex-offender to the front, but have we seen any outcomes, right? And so, Brother T.O., to these brothers that are wondering why the mayor is not calling you to the table when you have viable solutions, it's the company you keep. If you don't recognize that she saw that the person that you standing with was holding the camera of the person that passed out the flyers and put them on the camera, what makes you think they're going to want, they'll let more people die in the streets than bring you in to come corrupt the process.
Right.
The company you keep is right now holding you back. And I'm suggesting to us, to all of the eyes in the world, we need to come together to eliminate the eyes that block we from moving forward. Now, you might want to ignore it, but all you got to do is look at that sister that died in the streets. Hey, Sonia, did I get a winner? I want to say, is she on the line? All right, well, I want to congratulate Yolanda Toppins. Yolanda Toppins is the winner of the tickets to go see Common this Monday night at the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. Todd, you going, right?
Yes. I told my wife the other day. She did not confirm she will be with me, but, you know, if not her, then Claire.
All right, well, I think I got to call the president and see if she'll take me, if I can go with her. Hey, y'all. So for the WVON Morning Show, I am the host. Let me say what's up for Annette Flournoy in the newsroom, for the Wonder Twins, Sonia Escobar and Sonia Tompkins. Is that the president? I think I see the president of Chicago radio in the studio. I got my co-host, Ty Stroger, and if you don't, and I am the host of the WVON Morning Show. If you don't like it, COINTELPRO, y'all need to drop COINTELPRO, and you can still tell them, Maze said, we out of here, sucker.
The voice of the nation is 1690 WVON.
Take a moment, share the broadcast, peace.
Trump responds to
We haven't talked about those West Point graduates.
weather. I'm John Trout.
Huh?
We ever talked about those West Point graduates?
We did, but it was like, you